Cody's and NHL news, and Suns updates. We'll take a left turn and look at NASCAR, all the headlines from around the country. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
There's a time to be fearful and a time to be calm. A time to be aggressive and a time to be conservative, especially when it comes to investing. You've heard the phrase, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. At Compact, we strive to provide you with the tools and experience it takes to be in the right place at the right time to grow and protect your hard-earned money. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let's check your goals together. You'll get a free portfolio review and risk analysis, and we'll focus on your investment strategies. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo, or visit us online at compact.com. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
I heard the COVID-19 vaccine
And the thing I heard about the vaccine...
Sure, but do we really know about the long-term effects?
Did you read that thing on the internet?
He heard from his cousin that they don't...
Okay, you're hearing a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines these days. So how do you find out if getting vaccinated is right for you? By talking to someone you already trust, your doctor or healthcare provider. They'll answer your questions so you can decide what's best for you and your family. Go to getvaccineanswers.org to find out more. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Wednesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. You guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Broadcasting live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, so Keon, how is your birthday, by the way? And really, you have only yourself to blame. You only just told us like a week or so ago that you even had a birthday. I mean, Randy and I talked about it off there. I was like, you think Keon has a birthday? And Randy's like, I don't think so. I think he's ageless. And I said, I don't think he was just sort of hatched with an egg or something. He might have a birthday or something.
Keon has been and always will be.
Mm-hmm. So it's you have yourself to blame that we didn't know and do anything for you. But I have decided, we discussed this. Keon's birthday was not yesterday. I have declared it TBD, a date later to be determined, so that we can go ahead and properly celebrate your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you might want to get your mom back on the plane, send her home.
I'll let her know. She's going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, I've listened. You've only yourself to blame, so let her blame you as well. We blame you. We totally blame you.
Yep.
So, but yeah, listen, this is not about her, the one who gave birth to you. This is about us, the guys who forgot. So, with that, yesterday is not your birthday. You remain 31 years old until I tell you so.
And
So
did
that's
we
not a bad
forget,
deal.
or were we just misinformed?
We were told in passing.
Yeah, we're not really formally informed.
Right. And we're not like gals who just grab our day planner and go, oh, Keon's birthday is it's a week and a half ago. Oh my gosh, we got to get ready for this. For guys who you're like, oh yeah, my birthday's next week. We're like, oh yeah, cool. Gone out of our head.
That's what happens.
So you have only yourself to blame.
I'm miserable about it. It's just.
Oh, I see. He doesn't care if we celebrate his birthday because we don't matter to him, Randy.
Well, not really. I've just never been that big on birthdays. It's just I like them.
Now we know the truth. It's
He doesn't
be
like
hard
us
to recoup from that.
No,
this is hurtful.
I was like 12, and my dad was like, "Do we really have
I
a
could have
party,
invited
or-"
Dale, but I chose to invite you to my birthday party.
Yeah, I think we should call his mom and tell on him.
I appreciate that. I'm just saying. I remember being like 12, and my dad was like, "So birthday parties, do we need to keep doing that?" Or it's like, "Yeah, I'm 12. I would like to still have those if that's
always
okay."
have a birthday. You should always have a birthday and cake. Presents, well, as you get older and you have kids, the presents start to suck anyway. So it doesn't matter if you get the presents, but damn it, I better get some cake. That's all I ask for my birthday is cake. And everybody has their own thing. Maybe Randy would like be able to just sit there and have a beer and chill out, or a nice cigar. I don't know what your thing is, Keon, but me, cake. So what's your thing, Keon?
Yeah, for my birthday, cake's nice. I really don't have like a thing.
Oh, no wonder his dad didn't want to celebrate his birthday. He's non-committal. Oh, what a pain in the ass kid you must have been.
Yeah.
Non-committal.
I was pretty committal to the fact that I still wanted a birthday party. Yeah.
I want a party. What do you want in it? Okay, we're done here.
The 12-year-old, no one asked the 12-year-old what they want in the party. You get the 12-year-old a damn cake and whatever presents they're getting. I don't know. My dad never once asked me at any point prior to that what I wanted in a birthday party. So no, he was not asking. He was just like,
look at this deflection. He's blaming everybody but himself, Randy.
You're too old. That's what
Keon
he's saying.
Is blaming everybody but himself. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not blaming anybody. I just don't have a birthday.
I don't know that you quite deserve a birthday yet with this attitude, mister.
Yeah. I think we hold off quite a while until he gets over.
I really think that the earth goes around the sun, and then that's just another birthday. Like, I don't think you deserve it. It just happens.
No, we're going to need you to see a little improvement in the attitude before you get a birthday.
You better step it up, Keon, or your birthday will never happen.
Your mother's going to be very upset with you. She came all this way, and for what? This.
I mean, we'll see if she acknowledges it.
Fantastic. This is not the way I wanted to start National Puppy Day. That's what today is, National Puppy Day. And it was back in 1894 that Dogs Playing Poker was done by Cassius Coolidge. I thought they were done much later than that, but you've seen Dogs Playing Poker, but that's the original right there. And that is art. That is high art, if you ask me.
Yeah. That needs to be in every game room in the country.
That's the best version of that I've ever seen. I didn't realize we've seen all the other bastardized versions. That's the best one.
This one is good. Look at the lighting and the way that's poured. 1894. That's an amazing quality. And I think that Fish Tank needs that in his garage bar. That's what I think we need right there.
True.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So maybe I'll bring that as a gift in poster form. I'm not going to get him the actual painting. What am I, made of money? So National Puppy Day. And since it is National Puppy Day, I want to encourage everybody listening, please send me a picture of your puppies. Now, when I say that, moist one, I'm talking about pictures of your dogs. So don't be sending me pictures of your puppies. Okay. I'm talking about doggies. So if
actual dogs.
Yes. If you want to send pictures of the puppies, be my guest. I've always happy to see those. I could be angry as the day is long, but as soon as somebody texts in a puppy, I'm like, oh, the puppy. It makes me happy. So since Keon has turned this show into a negative direction with his little birthday angst and negativity.
I don't have any birthday angst.
I've never heard of anybody that has ranted about their birthday like Keon just did. I just don't understand.
He's upset. He's upset, Randy. I mean, people sometimes they get upset. They don't make sense.
Well, that's true.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so National Puppy Day, ladies and gentlemen, we know there's a lot going on in the world of sports. There has been some blockbuster. Every time you think, well, we're kind of running out of stuff to talk about today. Oh, no, we're not. So much stuff has happened. But before we get to the trades and the Tyreek Hill and all these other things, let's just talk about for a moment that yesterday the Rangers beat the Diamondbacks in the preseason there, and Kraken beat the Coyotes in actual play. So that's that. There's nothing really to talk about there. Are the Diamondbacks playing today?
Yes, they'll be playing every day, and then they won't be playing. And
Right.
it'll be opening day.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's going to be the playoffs. Then they won't.
No. They'll be playing every day in spring training. Yeah.
So, by the way, how's your lawsuit with the Seattle Kraken going?
I can't talk about it.
Oh, you can at least give us a hint.
Well, it is, shall I say, it's moving along. It was stalled there for a while, but there has been some headway made, and I really can't go into much detail. However, Jeffrey, I might have to change my fantasy football team name.
You're losing it.
I don't want to say anything that could damage my possible pursuit of my name, which is rightly mine. I had it first. And those damn tree hugging, coffee sipping Seattlers stole it from me.
Pasty faced bastards.
Yeah.
So here's for you listening, trying to figure it out. What happened was Randy has had the name the Kraken as his fantasy football team, and then the Seattle hockey team decided to call themselves the Kraken.
Yeah.
And of course, Randy was quite upset and launched a lawsuit that is just sort of drag on and on and on.
Yeah.
But I get your strategy now. You're saying, well, I can't use the name anymore, thus showing damages to yourself. I don't know who your lawyer is, but they're doing a fine job.
Thank you. And we'll leave it lay right there. Thank you.
All right. Well, keep us up to date on how that goes. We're pulling.
We'll do.
So before we go on to the next thing, here's another thing. And listen, I put this on the Twitter. I did tweet this out at RadioPal1580. You scroll down, you'll find it. And that is this big controversy. It's just gone viral all over the place of a University of Chalupa, Arizona player who inappropriately may have touched a cheerleader for TCU.
What?
Now, if you go look at it at first glance, you're like, wait, what? What did I just see? Is that a thing? Is it not a thing? So what happened is there's a cheerleader sitting there going like this, and she got her hands up, and she's like, yay. And this guy goes out and he has his arms stretched out, both arms, like he's trying to get high fives from non-existent people or something. And it looks like a point. Now, it could be intentional. It might not be intentional, but where he touches the chest of the TCU cheerleader. You'll have to see the video to really get the full idea of what this is. Now, I first saw it. First thing I'm thinking is that's he wasn't even looking at her. She didn't even make a face or anything. There didn't seem to be any reaction. If he even did touch her, it was so unintentional and brief, it doesn't matter. So keep in mind, I would love to see bad things happen to Arizona, but not at the cost of this kid who may not have done anything wrong. And then somebody posted up another video of it shuttling back and forth between a few frames, and you see her chest move on contact. And I don't know if it's just a flutter of the video or a thing. I'm not sure what is real, but if he did touch her, I actually think it was unintentional. You guys can look at it and give me your opinions on this, but I mean, I don't see why he would do that on purpose. I don't see why, if it was any amount of intent or actual contact, why the girl wouldn't be like, whoa, kind of, like, what the heck, nobody stands there and goes, I've been touched, I'll just pretend like nothing happened. It just seems silly. But officials at Arizona and TCU, they've been talking about this. I don't know where it currently stands, but the player, his name is Matheron. He hasn't talked about this anywhere. So first thought, it's just, maybe it was the angle of the camera, maybe something happened, maybe something didn't, but for the people involved, it didn't seem to even register on any kind of a Richter scale. So I don't know, maybe you guys can offer some thought to this, but at this moment, I got to say, kind of seems like a lot about nothing, unless somebody has come out or this cheerleader has come out and said anything about it.
Which I haven't heard the cheerleader say anything or any statement get put out in that regard. I have seen the video. I saw it briefly, and I didn't really dwell that much on it because I don't know if you can tell whether or not he did it on purpose, which is you would have to decide to get somebody in trouble over that, right?
Let's say I want to touch a boobie, and I'm going to stretch my arms out. I'm going to look straight ahead and pretend like I don't see her. And then, I think what happened was, if he did, his arm came back in pretty quick. Like he was like, oh, like he was trying to avoid it, or he realized, oh, I didn't mean to do that. If you're trying to do it intentionally, would you bring your arms back in? I don't know.
No,
what did you see? I mean, what do you think?
I think you'd just be more subtle in the first place. I just think he's being maybe careless. I mean, you're a basketball player, very tall. You have an incredibly long wingspan. You'd probably be a little bit more careful what you're doing with your arms in general. But that's about as bad as I think it got.
And in the audio, I didn't hear him go honk. Nothing like that happened.
And again, it's her lack of reaction that gets me thinking that I don't think there's anything there.
Right. Or the lack of reaction was because she thought, oh, that was unintentional. You know what I mean? Maybe she's just like, yay, okay, well, that happened. You know, like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
To her. So
yeah, it doesn't look like it's intentional. What was he doing? Was he bowing to the crowd or something? What was he doing?
Like
Showing off?
It looked like he had stretched his both arms out, like he was trying to get fictional high fives from people as he ran by, but there was nobody there to get those high fives. You can't really say what the intent was because who knows what's in somebody's head, but just at the glance, and I don't want to minimize that any inappropriate touch by a man on a woman or vice versa it's wrong, but it doesn't seem like he made contact at first glance. But then when you shuttle that video back and forth, it kind of looks like he did, but then like you guys said, no facial response. I don't know what to make of this. But before everybody starts going crazy on this kid, maybe give him the benefit of the doubt for at least a moment so somebody gets a different camera view or we talk to the cheerleader or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the video now. He's got both hands out, and he does actually get a high five from somebody at the scorer's table, or they maybe tried to give him a high five. But yeah, that doesn't seem, I don't know, it doesn't seem intentional to me.
Yeah, and then this kid, Matherin, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He's from Arizona, so I don't give a crap. But Benedict Matherin, he had 30 points in that game, and he's probably pretty happy with himself and celebrating. And a lot of people are thinking, well, this kid is going to be a top prospect in the NBA draft. So I don't think he's going to wise ass around and try to just sort of touch in passing the chestal area of some gal and go, I think he's got more important things in his mind right now. You hope.
And even so, someone got a video from another angle, which is actually harder to see the touch, but it is when you see him afterwards, he continues celebrating with the crowd. Like his mind is, at least to me, it just seems like it's somewhere else. He's not really paying attention. Which he's a 19-year-old guy.
At worst, he accidentally bumped into somebody. You know what I mean? And it just was unfortunate. Listen,
yeah,
all of us have had a moment where we've accidentally touched the breastal area of a lady and been like, "Ooh, sorry," or not on purpose, like don't give me that look, grandma. I went in for a hug, you went in for a different kind of hug. It was just accidental. Don't. Just me? Okay.
Very specific.
Don't make it weird.
You did a boob brush on your grandma?
I didn't mean to. I tried to go for a hug. She kind of turned, and I was like, I didn't mean to at all.
Did you go honk like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. Anyway, so yeah, for now, we'll go ahead and give this guy the benefit of the doubt until further notice, till somebody has a better angle, I guess. Moist One says, that's Arizona's best player, and it looked unintentional to me. It looked like he swiped down. Everybody knows you're supposed to swipe up. We call that a bean dip. Thank you, Moist One. Knew it could count on you.
Okay.
Let's see. Senior Wake and Bake says, maybe he was playing pin the tail. No. That makes no sense. Now I'm getting a bunch of pictures of puppies. Oh, the puppy. FedFan's got some beautiful dogs. How many dogs do you have that you sent all those photos? Is this like a bunch of photos of 3 dogs, or is this all like, do you have like a kennel? Hefty Lefty says, the bad man is gone. The AFC West villagers rejoice. And of course, he's talking about Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill got traded to the Dolphins earlier today. I'm sure you guys have all heard about that.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Boy, I think the Chiefs really got this this trade, and wow, did they ever steal the Dolphins blind on this? Seriously. The amount of picks that they got for Tyreek Hill. I hope that Andy Reid is like just a little embarrassed. I don't know how badly he abused the Dolphins unloading Tyreek Hill, clearing that cap space. This does not. Why did the NFL allow this? This was ridiculous. How many? The first round pick this year, the second round pick, and the fourth round pick. Kansas City just got those 3 picks. Bam, 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 and then a 6th round pick in 2023. And they cleared cap space in a draft year, which has a lot of good wide receivers coming down the pipe. This was brilliant.
And they just signed Juju Smith-Schuster.
So I feel like, boy, did the Dolphins overpay for this one. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know if they overpaid. Only because we're just the wide receiver market has clearly changed. The moment that the Cardinals signed DeAndre Hopkins to all the money that they signed him to, and then we're starting to see this year the effects of Christian Kirk's getting paid a ton of money, Devontae Adams getting paid a ton of money. Like, we went from wide receiver as a position that's useful, but you're not going to pay that much for it too. Yeah, we're going to go crazy paying some of these wide receivers based on what it's worth, and based on the fact that they're trying to give Tua as many weapons as humanly possible so that they can compete in the AFC.
Is that really all that was lacking with Tua?
I mean, offensive line, man, offensive
line, but they've put money into that too. This wasn't the only move they've made. They've been working on that offensive line this offseason.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Tyreek Hill trade to the Dolphins. When we come back, there's a lot of angles on this. We'll see what Fish Tank has to say, if he thinks that this is all a good thing or a bad thing or whatnot. But it's been a very busy day in the NFL. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Arizona basketball back at it on Thursday night when they play their Sweet 16 game against Houston. Arizona a 1 seed, Houston a 5 seed. Arizona sits as a 1.5 favorites. The over-under at 145.5. Elsewhere in Sweet 16 action on Thursday, Gonzaga a 9.5 point favorite as they take on Arkansas. Villanova favored by 5 as they are set to take on the University of Michigan. And Texas Tech sitting as a 1 point favorite as they match up against Duke. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Family. It looks a little different for everyone. For some, it's mom and dad. For others, roommates who feel like family. And for others, it's your significant other, their golfing buddies, your children, a high school soccer team starting lineup, and oh look, they're all taking you up on the offer to stay for dinner, really testing the limits of that phrase, the more the merrier. But no matter where you call home, Geico makes it easy to bundle and save on home and car insurance. Easier than making 3 frozen pizzas and assorted frozen veggies into a cohesive meal.
Today, someone will clearly understand their doctor because they have an Arizona licensed American Sign Language interpreter at the appointment. Today, someone will use a voice amplifying device to have a meaningful conversation. Today, someone among the more than 1 million deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind Arizonans will enjoy greater accessibility and effective communication thanks to the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. To learn more, visit acdhh.org, sponsored by the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
The dictionary describes madness as
frenzy, rage, intense excitement. Yeah, that sounds about right.
we define it like this.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. They take it through for the win.
The madness is coming. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The home for March Madness.
Welcome back to a Wednesday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And I wish I would have had insurance on my bracket earlier, you guys, because I had Kentucky and them losing to the Peacocks really hurt my bracket. But from this point forward, you can protect yourself against upsets in your bracket with Parlay Insurance, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, all customers can get up to $25 back each day if your parlay of 3 legs or more falls 1 leg short. So I would have hit on 2 other games. I would have had the third game, which would have been the Peacocks beating the damn Kentucky Wildcats in a stunner. I'd have got $25 back. See how that works? You make your parlay, and if you lose just 1 leg, no more than 1 leg, you get $25 back. And the parlays are great because you can take a small bet, which I'm not a big spender, by the way. Within grace here, I spend small amounts on this using my little nest egg that I have put together for betting, making that last longer. You can take your small bet and you can turn that into a big payday with a parlay. So build your own parlay or use the parlay builder that FanDuel has set up for you right there on the front page. Listen, man, you cannot lose. You go to FanDuel Sportsbook, download the app today, sign up using promo code Randy1580. Then you can bet the bracket all tournament long. That's promo code Randy1580 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Remember, you got to be 21 and present in Arizona. If exactly 1 leg loses, refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. NCAA tournament SBK wager required. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP 53342. Yeah, Keon, I know that you would probably use that parlay insurance because I know you had Kansas, or you had not Kansas, Kentucky going all the way through the Final Four,
did.
right?
Could have used it. Would have helped.
I mean, you got $25 back. You'd have made your wager back, and
Probably would have won.
Although you're still in 90th place, so I don't. Probably would help Jeffrey out more.
Yeah, I'm in range. I don't know. I have no idea where Keon is. We really thought this was going to be the absolute opposite of this. We thought Keon would be in the top 10 and we would be in 90th place.
I thought I was doing, when I was filling it out, I thought I was doing pretty well. I watched a ton of college basketball this year, probably just as much or more than I've ever watched. I really felt informed on what I was doing.
Right. And that proves my point. There is no method to any madness that is going to be a surefire thing. Keon Rose knows more about college basketball and college sports than any of us. And I'm including people on the text line.
That's why they call it March Madness, Jeff.
Knows his stuff. That is the madness part, is where these upsets just come out of nowhere. And, you can't predict an upset, then you end up losing if you try to predict that upset as well. So Jag Dog is on the text line and says, congratulations, Fish Tank. You bought yourself a $120 million cheetah. That's right. Fish Tank has just shown up, and look at that. He shows his 2-year-old yellow lab there, gold lab there in his garage bar. Good dog, good boy. He says, I get what you're saying about the picks, Jeffrey. I would have liked to at least hung on to that second rounder. That said, okay, before I continue, let me just refresh on this. Now, the Chiefs have traded Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Tyreek made a shload of money. His new deal guarantees him $52.535 million at signing. He gets that money just for signing. And after that, he's guaranteed $72 million to start the new league year. The whole deal itself is about $120 million. So this is a guy who I keep thinking was a little bit quiet here and there. And then you look at his stats and you're like, I guess he wasn't that quiet, but still just didn't see this coming. That much money for Tyreek Hill. But the Dolphins, they see the value, and boy, did they pay heavily in draft picks. So here's the deal. The Chiefs are going to get the Dolphins 2022 first round pick, their second round pick, and their fourth round pick. And then for 2023, they get the fourth round pick. And then 2023, they get the sixth round pick. It's a shload of picks, and especially this year. Now, I get the Dolphins thinking, okay, well, what we really need is a quarterback if Tua doesn't work out, but we got a lot better quarterbacks coming down the quarterback pipe next year. So this year, let's focus on working the free agency to get a bunch of good pieces, and let's get some stars. So if Tua does work out with a lot of good talent around him, great, we're solved. If he doesn't, we still have a chance at some quarterbacks coming next year. And it's crazy if you think about all the moves the Dolphins have made over the last few days. Here is a stat. There are no Dolphins that made Pro Bowl appearances on the roster yesterday. Today, there's 9 of them.
Yeah, crazy.
Isn't that insane?
I mean, on the 17th of March alone, I'm looking at the on the Dolphins website here. The March 17th, they signed offensive lineman Connor Williams, Chase Edmonds, who we're very familiar with here, Teddy Bridgewater. They got Cedric Wilson Jr., Keon Crossan, and running back Raheem Mostert. I mean, they loaded up on the 17th, and then today they picked up the cheetah.
Yeah, and Fish Tank goes on to say he's pretty ecstatic about the trade, though. Hill's a true number one, something we haven't really had since Brandon Marshall, and I think Hill and Waddle are our best tandem since Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. I have no idea who those are.
Clayton and Duper, that was back in the day. That was Dan Marino days.
Oh, okay. He says not only is he a great receiver, but his speed alongside Waddell's speed is going to make safeties play back, opening up the run game, which is what Coach McDaniel's known for. I'm in on the trade, and I think we win 11 games next season. It's playoffs or bust now.
Well, because they went out and spent the money, by the way, for Chase Edmonds. So when you talk about opening up that running game, you've got yourself a quality back there in addition to Raheem Mostert, who Randy mentioned. They went and got left tackle, Taron Armstead, to go ahead and protect Tua on that side.
Him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge, they've invested on every level of this offense.
So now we get to find out, is Tua the guy? Is Tua, there's no more excuses at this point, right? Tua's got to play at a high level, and they've got to win those games. I don't want to hurt your feelings, Fish Tank, but I do not see 11 games win total on your schedule next year. I just don't. I think you're going to find that Tua is the weakest link. Bye-bye.
Well, if you find that out, that's I guess that's a good time to figure it out, because now you've got the roster for it and all of that. I just think Tua is going to be able to play at a high enough level with all these weapons, because we're talking about Tyreek Hill, a guy who made Alex Smith, who is the most conservative quarterback of our times. He was like leading the league in passing for 10 games behind just having Tyreek Hill as a weapon. So, Tua's big problem is pushing the ball downfield. Not a real problem with Tyreek Hill. He's just going to be open.
Well, like I said, Tua now seems to be the weakest link in what had been a very weak all-around chain. So now you'll find out what you have. It's brilliant moves by the Dolphins. I think they get an A+ in this offseason so far. Let's see what they do. Do they have any picks left? I think they have a pick somewhere in there. Not in the first 3. Yeah. So I guess your season, your off season is over, Fish Tank. I think you're done.
Yeah, they decided we're drafting all our guys now. That's basically the way to think about it.
Hefty Lefty says the Bills are pissed today. They thought they finally had a free run at the division. Now the Dolphins went full Lee Corso and said, no, double not so fast. And he says, I think they signed speedster Valdez Scantling too. I didn't see that. The Dolphins? I did not see that. I want to check that. Chief Skull says, afternoon, guys. Nice pickup, Fish Tank. Again, the Commodores don't pick up anybody except their Wiener Schnitzel dressing quarterback, and the Colts got Matty Ice. Oh, my shoulder, it hurts. Ryan.
And as for Valdez Scantling, that's actually, he's visiting with the Chiefs right now.
Oh, there you go. He's visiting the Chiefs. Randy's Chuckle says, great point, Jeffrey. I'm 2,505th place in the CBS men's bracket, yet pure guessing, I'm in 226th place in the women's bracket. I filled out one of those two. I was trying to win a truck or something. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Mile High Guy says, check out these puppies. Thank God there was not a picture that came with that. If there's actual dogs, I didn't see them. Anything else? Didn't see that either. Lost Toby says, poor Tyreek Hill is going to learn how much it sucks to have a bad quarterback, but damn Waddle and Tyreek, they are a fast MFer duo.
And they can go Tyreek Hill with the deep stuff, and then your more gadgety underneath kind of stuff. You could go bubble screens with Jalen Waddle, and he's fast enough. He can accelerate 0 to 60, no problem.
You mentioned gadgety, and I just had a thought. If Inspector Gadget played in the NFL, would they find his gadgets illegal? Like he was go gadget arms, and he'd reach out and
how could that not be
pass?
Performance enhancement? How could it not be?
It's part of him. He's a cyborg, really. So that's just part of him. He's like, hey, I identify as a football player. So shouldn't he be allowed? I mean,
I don't know. If you're a cyborg and you have that means you have additions that weren't there in the first place.
Yeah.
How could you
support trans sports and not support Inspector Gadget?
It's pretty different.
Quite a bit different. Yeah.
Is Inspector Gadget taking estrogen to somehow?
No, he's taking 1030 weight oil. You know, I'm tired of this prejudice. I don't know.
You know what, to me, Inspector Gadget is equal to? Ghost Runner on second.
Go Gadget hurt feelings. Senior Wake and Bake says, I pledge allegiance to all the paper chasers.
What?
Okay. Mr. Wilbur says the Chiefs scored more draft picks than the star football player did on prom night. Oh, yeah. Yankees Evil Empire. Those are puppy dogs. Oh, those are some cute puppies. Mars Bars 805 says, what's up, guys? Happy Whiskey Wednesday. I'll take an 805, please. And go Raiders, he says. Some days, that's all he says.
Mm-hmm.
Last Optimist says, my new puppy, as requested. Oh, that's a good puppy. What is that? Is that a golden retriever? Like a kind of a bronzish golden retriever? What is that dog? That's a cute dog. Rex Terra says, look, my golden Percy and my wife's mini Australian nappy puppy. Oh, they're napping right there. Both of them. This is an amazing picture. They're both napping nose to nose. Oh, that's like best buddy stuff right there. That's awesome. Navy Brad, your bunnies aren't dogs. I don't mean to. No, I don't want to hurt, but they're not dogs. They're
Puppy
not
Day. Puppy Day, Navy Brad. Puppy Day.
Bunny Day. He says, by the way, hello, Blender Nation. For my birthday coming up in July, I'd like to have a nice dinner date with a lady. Help me.
Well, we do have some time to try to work on that.
Do I look like a pimp? Do I look like a pimp?
Well, it depends. There are some of those shirts that you wear.
That's off air. Okay. You didn't even bring. Why'd you need?
You're not wearing nearly enough purple, really.
Sorry.
So, yeah, that makes me uncomfortable, Navy Brad. Boomer Sooner says, happy birthday, Keon. And no, I do not blame you, he says. Good
Thank
day,
you.
Gentlemen. Beautiful day in the Valley. At least the AFC West is breathing a sigh of relief that Tyreek Hill is not in their division anymore.
Was he really that much of an assassin, though?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it was more about the play of Patrick Mahomes there at the beginning of last season.
I get that, but Tyreek is a different kind of player, man. Like the combination of speed and acceleration for him, if he gets a step on any defensive back in the league, it is over. And he gets behind him.
But the problem is you got to get the ball to him.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see that as being a problem here. I mean, because he's still going to have that ability to separate. And Tua's problem is an accuracy. It is. I mean, it's not the ability to throw the ball, a good ball. He throws a great ball. It's just about he doesn't have that strong arm that, you know, Mahomes or some of these other guys have. But,
and he's left-handed, and sometimes receivers get screwed up by the opposing rotation. It's a different feel when they're receiving the ball, and sometimes that screws up their entire game.
Yeah, it just that's going to be that you make the move now. You get an entire offseason of work in. There are guys that have been screwed up by it, but you know, Deshaun Jackson, for instance, nice deep threat, was never screwed up by having to switch to Michael Vick in the middle of the season. So, you know,
Tua Tagovailoa he's got to be the most excited person right now. I mean, how many quarterbacks get gifted everything that the Dolphins have laid before him. That doesn't happen that often.
Almost none. And a lot of quarterback success has to do with where do you land, who's coaching you, and who are you playing with. And they're basically going, you know what? Here's who you're playing with. A bunch of superstars. If you can't get it done now, it's not going to happen.
No pressure. Kane Kenton says, so the woman in front of me in the line at the In-N-Out Burger is complaining about the parking lot and drive-through lane configuration. He says, I'm hungry. Let's go, boys. Wow. Why would Karen decide now is the time to complain about how they do business when they've been doing it exactly this way forever? Fish Tank says, I believe in Tua, but if he doesn't work out, we have 2 first-round picks next year. Should be enough ammo to move wherever they need to move to be in the draft to get a good QB. There you go.
And if Tua goes down, you got a veteran backup in Teddy Bridgewater. I think they signed him too.
They did. I mean, as far as if Teddy's got to play 2 or 3 games, you'll be fine.
Pretty good. Lacrosse guy says, hey, Blender, I missed the last 2 days. Damn work. Wanted to get Jeffrey's Matt Ryan take. My take was basically this. I'm okay with it. I actually feel pretty good about it. Do I think it's a Super Bowl? No. Am I at peace with it? Do I feel like we're going to have a pretty good season? Yes. I think we're going to win a playoff game? Yes. I don't have high expectations beyond that because it's still Matt Ryan. So that's my take in a nutshell, lacrosse guy. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we have other teams making moves. No, not you, Cardinals. We have other teams making moves, and we'll talk about that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona.
Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia
Keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene.
You need to tune in
to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve. If you or someone you know needs assistance with benefits, health care and wellness, employment, or housing, visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the dangers of emotional investing.
There's 2 things that people sell. One is greed and one is fear. Whenever you buy either one of those, you're going to end up getting burned because they are the epitome of emotions. And you've heard me say, whenever emotions take over, you're in trouble. If you don't want that to happen to you, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to do an objective evaluation of your portfolio to find the right degree of risk, what you have in your portfolio, what you should have, depending on your age, depending on your emotional makeup, depending on your financial makeup, depending on what your objectives are. All of those things go in to determine the correct balance of portfolio. We'll do that for you. It is free. You have to at least get started.
If you're ready to get started, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona.
Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia
Keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene.
You need to tune in
to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com. If it's local,
we talk about it.
1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
David Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. And tomorrow night, the Sweet 16 begins, and our broadcast has all the games. How is that possible, you say? I'll tell you. So what you do is you tune in to 1580 The Fanatic, 4 p.m. We'll be on for an hour right before, talking about the games and all that sort of stuff. 4 p.m., we'll tip off Arkansas versus Gonzaga. And after that, they'll switch back over to Michigan versus Villanova. And then in a couple hours, they'll bring in Texas Tech and Duke. And then a half an hour later, Houston versus Screw You, Arizona. So all the games, it's going to be like a red zone presentation. They'll bounce around whatever game is more compelling, which means you probably won't hear much of you, Arizona. But you're going to hear an awful lot of the other games that matter and have quality human beings. So that is how it works on Thursday and Friday night for the games. So really, you're hearing everything you need to hear about the Sweet 16.
Could you run through that again?
Please? No. Not a breath. I appreciate how you guys jump right in there for me when I need to breathe.
Well, the problem was I didn't catch most of what you were saying.
Did I talk too fast, or was I breaking up on my signal here?
Yes, breaking up.
Oh,
yeah. I was trying to find a little pineapple picture to
what
show you on
what I think you were saying was tomorrow night it's a whip around version of the Sweet 16 happening here only on the Fanatic.
Yes.
Whip around version. Whip around.
Am I still breaking up?
Yes.
Should I go reset my stuff?
I don't know.
I'm going to go yell at some people to get off the internet too.
Whip around coverage, and you'll hear it here on the Fanatic tomorrow night.
I'll be right back.
Just
talk about the games or something.
Talk about the games or something. All right. Well, Sweet 16, U of A. Going into battle, what does that look like for you, Keon?
Where are they on the?
Where are they? What do you mean? Where are they?
On the schedule there. I'm trying to figure out what time they tip off.
All right. Let's.
But no, I'm excited about the entire Sweet 16. I'm really looking forward to Arkansas and Gonzaga because I think Arkansas, incredibly underrated team. I actually think I have them in my Final Four.
Do you?
Yeah,
right,
I just was. I'm really big fan of Eric Musselman in that
I'm back.
Arkansas squad.
Yeah, Jeffrey's back.
Okay, is that better?
So far.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what were you guys talking about right there?
We were trying to look and get through one of the games, the Arkansas game.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, Arkansas and Gonzaga.
The Gonzaga is going to win, right?
Well, I don't know.
I need them to win.
Do you? I have Arkansas in my Final Four. So,
well, we know how you are with your bracket. I feel better now. Big George says no pineapple on our end during Jeffrey's read. I heard his read for tomorrow's games loud and clear on the app. Isn't that weird?
It must be between you and I then.
Keon, were you able to hear me? Well, no, Keon said I was breaking up too.
Yeah, you said it that way to me too. So
all this talk about breaking up makes me sad. The Jet text in says, Jeffrey, thank you for being true to your beliefs. As a Nebraska alumni, I could care less about any Arizona teams. I haven't heard squat about the University of Arizona in a positive light in the last year. Now, everywhere in the dial, they're praising them and how great they are and all that. You are the only one I've heard still knocking them. Thank you for that. Yeah, man.
Well, Jeffrey, in his defense, he's knocking him because he can't stand Uchulupa.
Yeah, do not like U Arizona. And if you wonder why do I call them U Arizona instead, sometimes instead of saying something rude, they hate U Arizona down at U Arizona. That was the alumni and the people are like, oh, we hate this. We just want to be U of A. Nope, that U Arizona is something that they came up with. So I like to pile on with that one. But screw Arizona. That's a new one that I came up the other day. So screw Arizona.
Boy, it's combining both the phrase that they hate and you're telling them to go screw themselves. It's perfect.
Yeah, it felt right. It just felt right. Booger Wolf says, waiting in line for emission testing sucks, but not as much as the Salamander Commander. Just kidding. Happy birthday, too.
Thanks.
Why can't
Salamander
you just say
Commander?
Happy birthday And this silliness with the salamander thing. What?
I don't
stop.
get. I'm
Booger
guessing
Wolf.
it just rhymes with commander. I have no idea.
He calls us all names. The other day, he called us custard-mouthed, phlegm-nosed maloofs, whatever that means.
Okay.
Kiss the Cook says, it's picture day. I had two male Flemish rabbits, one named Friar, the other named Stu. Well, this is puppy day. It's not pet day. It's puppy day. Hefty Lefty says, here's my friend's dogs. He just adopted.
Wait a minute.
What?
He named his rabbits Friar and Stew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
No, I enjoy that because then later you don't feel bad for eating them. Hefty Lefty sent over a picture of a pit bull and a chihuahua. Says, these are my friend's dogs. They originally just wanted the pit bull, but he wouldn't go without the chihuahua. And it's like the pit bull has the chihuahua in a headlock to where now the pit bull looks like a kangaroo with the chihuahua in its pouch. It's an amazing picture, Hefty Lefty. Thank you for that. The Jet says, do you guys know what's going on with the West Valley at Westgate? 2 helicopters in the air and all the exits are blocked off of Westgate. When I looked over there's a lot of cops in the parking lot as well. Give me an update. Pretty sure Dunkin' Donuts has a sale. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
I have no idea. We don't do news here. We barely do sports. I have no idea. No idea, the Jet. I'm sorry. Ukla Mock says, it's Muscat Love, Radio Pal. Box of Screws says, the best way to fix pineapple, broadcast live in the studio. Don't you mind your own business, Box of Screws? You going to fill my tank full of gas now? Random Texter says there's an active shooter at the Westgate. Oh, brother.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, that stopped being funny. King of Kittens. Yes, everybody's saying it's the outlet mall at Westgate Tanger Outlets. So stay the hell away from that area.
Oh, boy.
Be safe out there, people. All right. So let's get back to the whole Tyreek Hill thing. And the Dolphins, they got themselves Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, Cedric Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, and Connor Williams. They lost Duke Johnson and Mac Hollins, but they were able to keep Mike Gesicki, Emmanuel Ogba, Nick Needham, and Lyndon Roberts. So sounds like the Dolphins have made the right moves, kept the right people, and ditched the dead weight. I mean, can anybody see anything wrong that the Dolphins have done other than maybe give up more draft picks than they should have to the Chiefs?
No, I really can't. And I guess what the going rate for these receivers are right now, if you wanted somebody of a Tyreek Hill and you could have drafted somebody, but that's always a gamble. You trade for Tyreek Hill, you give yourself a for sure thing that Tua can now have as a weapon to go alongside the other weapon that he had that was playing really well in Jalen Waddle.
Tyreek Hill got a lot of money. Why did he get so much money up front?
Because he
$52 million. I don't remember somebody getting $52.5 million for signing a signature. Is that the most anybody's ever got on signing?
Boy, I don't know.
Like, you got $52 million. Here's the check. Thank you very much. Can we stop by like Circle K? Yeah. I'd like to cash this. You know, I mean, has anybody gotten that much money on signature? Guaranteed $52.5 million at signing. Okay, maybe they don't give them the check, but that's guaranteed money.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I haven't heard of much more than that. I mean, I would think that at some point there had to be bigger than 52 million.
I mean, as a wide receiver, though, I find that hard to believe that it maybe at quarterback somewhere.
Yeah, you don't hear about
a lot of guaranteed money for Kirk Cousins up front, but for a wide receiver, no, this is unheard of.
Well, the Dolphins seem to have done most things right. So let's start to give them the list of things maybe they didn't. Giving up too many draft picks, overpaying Tyreek Hill guaranteed money, and according to Cardinal Art, they still have Tua. Sheesh, he says.
I mean, well,
that remains to be seen if it's a deficit.
Yeah, the draft picks, I don't know if that's necessarily. All of this stuff kind of remains to be seen, because if you have a productive 3-year stretch, 4-year stretch out of Tyreek Hill, you got your money's worth. And then if you paid him that much money up front, presumably you're not paying him that much money later on. So his money actually becomes a better cap hit as time goes on. and Tua's still on a rookie deal. Like, you're barely paying him already.
Good point. You can afford high price stuff when you don't have to pay your QB much. Chief Skull sends a picture of a very surprised looking turtle and says, "This is what my turtle looked like when it heard you say Tyreek the Cheetah Hill to the Dolphins." That is we all kind of looked that way because nobody saw that coming. I didn't even hear that the Chiefs were looking to deal Tyreek until today.
Because it only happened until today. They were negotiating the contract, and then the contract talks stalled today. They basically said, look, we're not going to extend you at that level of money. And then he asked to seek a trade, and they said yes. And then they found a trade partner. I mean, it happened that fast.
So here's a list of signing bonuses from sporttrack.com. But this is just this year. I don't know what the highest ever has been, but Dak Prescott came in number one with $66 million signing bonus.
That's a lot of chunky soup.
Yeah, Russell Wilson got $65 million. Matt Stafford, $60 million. He needs all that
baby clothes.
Matt Stafford, $60 million, and Matt Ryan for your Colts, $46.5 million.
All of those were quarterbacks, man. When it comes to wide receiver, you just don't expect this amount.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring up the rest of the list here. Let's see here. Quarterback, defensive tackle, Aaron Donald, he got $40 million. Let's see here. I don't see a wide receiver until DeAndre Hopkins. He's the first one, and he got $27.5 million. Tyreek Hill at $25.5.
Okay, let's stop
this
there.
This is 2022. Okay, this is not current up to the minute.
Right. Let's stop there. Who's a better wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins or Tyreek Hill?
Well, in my opinion, it's D-Hop, but I'm a bit partial. So,
good Lord, I mean you could go either way. Because Hopkins has just got the best hands in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no such thing as a 50-50 ball when you throw it his way. It's like 90-10 because he always comes down with it. I remember like his last season with the Texans, or his second to last season, he didn't drop a pass until week 15. It was just one of those. He's one of those guys. But Tyreek is so fast and so game breaking. I'll lean D-Hop, but I mean, Tyreek's it's a 1A, 1B thing for me.
Fishhank says, I hope Tyreek donates some of that $52 million to the battered women of Miami. Yeah, every time we talk about somebody, those sorts of things do come back at you, don't they? Cardinal Art says Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid off the Mets, even has his day from when they cut the check. That's right. We all celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day. We all wish we had that sort of an annuity hanging around. The Jet says Kansas City is starting to pay the price for paying Mahomes so much damn money. They can't afford any other players. I sure hope the Cardinals pay attention to what's going on in Kansas City and don't give Murray the farm.
Well, the thing is that they can't afford other players. The cap's gone up, so that every year that the cap goes up, that contract for Mahomes gets a little bit better and a little bit better. And they went out and spent a bunch of money on offensive line. They now have a very, very good offensive line. And look at the weapons that are still there, though. You know,
and they just got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, they just got Juju Smith-Schuster to add
for
to
almost nothing.
A very good Mecole Hardman. You know, you still have high-level tight end play. I'm not so sure that paying Patrick Mahomes has ruined the Chiefs.
Box of Screws says nobody can accuse the Dolphins of not trying to give Tua the best chance to succeed. He won't have any excuses if they don't play well.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
I think he would agree with that.
Booger Wolf says Niners going to kill the Dolphins in a Super Bowl rematch next year. Haters. Well, I don't know. Shut up, Booger Wolf. Last Optimist says Stafford got a bigger gift moving to the Rams than what the Dolphins are giving Tua. Everything was an upgrade for Stafford, and they added more wide receiver gifts during the season too. Yeah, that is a true story. But see, that's Stafford coming from somewhere else to a sitting team. This is Tua watching all the gifts come directly to him. It's the difference between going shopping in the mall and ordering Amazon.
Yeah,
that's
true.
And of course, you know, the Lions, you're not going to be proud of that. The biggest upgrade you could have given your quarterback is to put him somewhere else. You want to upgrade your quarterback and keep him. That's what you'd love.
That's why I love all these people saying, "Ooh, who are the Lions going to bring in next?" You know, it's like you realize you had Matt Stafford. The minute he left, he won a Super Bowl. And now you're like, oh, if we bring in a really good quarterback, our future. No, you have no future. You have no future, Lions. I'm sorry, but it's true. Rex Terra says, tell Randy to quit kicking me in the nuts with Juju Smith-Schuster, please.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, he's down. Stay down, Rex Terra. Stay down. Stay down.
Breathe slowly.
All right, guys, we have other things happening in the NFL. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Contractors, listen up. This is Bruce Jacobs. Are you missing out on jobs due to lack of bonding? When your current bonding holds you back, call Arizona's #1 bond managers at Constructors Bonding. They have the market relationships and expertise to take you where you want to go, serving all types of contractors of any size and license in all states. When you need better bonding, call Dave McKee at Constructors Bonding, 602-432-5929, or visit cbialliance.com.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk and 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now, 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve, 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. Yet for many United States military veterans, finding and affording oral health care is a challenge many of us don't think about. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to see one veteran with special needs one time per year. Visit willyouseeonevet.org to learn more. That's willyouseeonevet.org.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
Quiet, people, settle down. Because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm a good friend, your radio pal, Simple Box of Screws, Jeffrey O'Brien. He's mad at me. He says, shut your filthy mouth when the Lions hate. It's not hate, it's just truth. But there's Randy White, and there's Keon Rhodes, and there you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Yeah, I can't retract that box of screws, and it's not hate. It's just... your team is inept. I don't know what else to tell you. Just, get used to sadness, I guess.
Hopefully the new GM behaves differently, has a better plan than the other guys did.
It's not your fault, box of screws. It's not your fault.
Finally got the pictures of the puppies from Mile High Guy. Thank you for that. Chief Skull says, did I hear Keon say high-level tight end play earlier? Are you being influenced by Just the Tip these days?
No.
Nobody's being influenced by Just the Tip these days, Chief Skull.
No. What happened was Travis Kelce's name slipped my mind in the moment. And had to keep talking.
Okay. 888-368-1580. So yes, everybody now knows about the whole Tyreek Hill trade, and the Dolphins. They have made some moves that have made them a better team, and of course the Chiefs have made some moves that is going to enable them to draft a bunch of damn rookies. And what do the Chiefs need?
Defense.
Is that it? All of it?
I mean, a lot of it is defense. I mean, they really need to rework that because they've spent the money on the offensive line. Especially the left side, the left tackle, left guard part of the line. I mean, Joe Thuney's getting a decent chunk of change, and then the right side of that line they've drafted very well. Mm-hmm. They can go out and get some weapons at wide receiver. Take a look at somebody. Maybe Chris Olave falls to you, where you're drafting at 29, I think, where they are. Yeah, I mean, there are needs on the offensive side of the ball, but I think most of it's still defense.
So yeah, it's here's the needs that I've got notes on every team now. Wow. And they need a cornerback, a wide receiver, an edge, a linebacker, and a safety. That's what I've got.
Yeah, and this is apart from being a really good receiver draft, this is a really good corner draft too. So maybe they might look at that. There's some good safeties in this draft, but I feel like all the good safeties are going to be gone in the first 10 picks.
Well, I have notes. So I just want to use.
Look at Jeff go. He's got notes.
No, I mean, use them notes.
Well, I figure we'll use these notes more as we get close to the draft. In fact, I was toying around with the idea. A lot of times we'll cut away to a network draft show. What if we just did the draft? What if we did the first round of the draft? We did the Daily Blender draft show.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I would be a massive fan of that.
And one of us can be sober, and the other two don't need to be.
Okay.
What's that?
I see where this is going. And yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Okay. We should have a meeting about it. We should plan for this.
When's the draft? It's in August, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Somebody will tell us.
It's in April.
Random Texter says the Chiefs just signed a pretty good safety. Who they pick up? If you can't name him right away, then he's not that good, is he? Donnie says, where's the draft party this year? I don't know. This is just an idea we just had. Hefty Lefty says, if the Chiefs get Bobby Wagner, I'm going to be upset. Well, I don't think that's probably going to happen because Bobby Wagner was just seen meeting with the Rams. They're trying to load up again, and he's visiting, so we shall see. Bobby Wagner, I'm sure, would love to go to a team that is a Super Bowl contender. Of course, the Chiefs are also, but I don't know. Any word on that? Have the Rams made any sort of claims on Bobby Wagner yet?
Not that I've seen. The Bobby Wagner sweepstakes still very much open. I know that they talked to him. That they've brought him in and interviewed him, but I don't believe that they have actually signed him.
Box of Screws says, I know. Lions are inept, just like the Jets, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Browns. Campbell and company are building something promising, though. It just sucks we have Jared Goff still. Well, I'm glad you've come to your senses.
What was the term you used there, Jeffrey, about the tanking, but you're doing it respectfully?
Mediocrizing.
Yeah, that Jared Goff is part of that plan.
Yeah, you're mediocrizing, so it doesn't look like you're tanking on purpose. But Augie says, wait, are you getting pictures of puppies? You going to share? I want to see puppies. Yeah, I'm thinking about, with permission, I don't know, I guess I could just download all the pictures and post them back up on the Twitterverse so you guys can see all the puppies that were sent in. I love puppies. The Jet says, my wife gets influenced by Just a Tip a couple of times a week. Didn't know she knew him. That's weird. Hefty Lefty says, I think the Chiefs signed Valdez Scantling. So there's another one. Wait, you said that last hour, but we have not seen any evidence of that. Has that popped up?
We've seen that Valdez Scantling was visiting with the Chiefs.
Visiting, not signed.
I have not seen anything that says he has been signed yet.
Good Cat says, I thought the draft party is at Fish Tank's Garage Bar.
That's right. We talked about that.
We want to do a live remote from there, but we don't feel it's fair to bring a couple hundred people to his house. You'd probably get a lot of trouble. And then we also didn't want to make decisions on who got to be there and who didn't get to be there. We wouldn't want anybody to feel left out. So at the point where we do the broadcast from Fish Tank's Garage Bar, it'll just be him and his pals. It won't be super fans, because this is not fair to do that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Donnie says playoff preview tonight. Howl. What the hell is he talking about?
Could it be Coyotes because he howled?
I don't know. He hates
but then
all of Arizona.
Then he also said playoff preview, which
there's no chance.
Yeah, it's not the Coyotes.
Yeah.
They're not going to be in the damn playoffs.
Help us out, Donnie. Hell are you talking about? Hefty Lefty says, oops, my sources were as good as Schefter, I guess. So Last Optimist says Chiefs signed Deion Bush from the Bears as safety.
Bush.
Which he's a pretty good safety. I believe they also made a move on Justin Reed, who I think is better safety.
It's not fun. You can't say Reed. You can say Bush.
True, but you blame the Chiefs for that.
Bliss LaHaye says, by signing Matt Ryan, the Colts are obviously mediocreizing.
What do you mean?
No, if we were assigned, we'd have kept Carson.
That's too many steps to just be right back where you started.
Moist One, what are you doing here? He sent a text. I don't know when this was, March 9th. He says, the Bobby release hurt me more, but I'm happy he gets a chance to hop on a contender. Scared he goes to the Rams somehow. And he says, you said this wouldn't happen, Jeffrey. Did I? So he'd jump off the Seahawks and go to a contender? I don't remember saying that. Do you guys remember me saying that?
I don't remember you saying that at all.
I don't remember last hour.
Oh, Donnie says, I thought you guys were big Suns fans. Suns versus Wolves. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
if you howl for the opposing team, I mean,
John Morant is not playing tonight, from what I understand. So
it's going to sound like
Suns are going to win. Suns are going to win anyway. So
John plays for the Grizzlies, though, but
oh, I thought he was a Timberwolf.
No,
it's Grizzlies. Never mind. I don't know my NBA.
Karl Anthony Towns.
What just happened? I'm going to shut off my mic now.
The dog is looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you over there? He's staring at me like, that's not funny. I was asleep. Yeah, you have no chance of winning, Donnie, so walk it off. All right. So, well, I didn't say the other thing. I didn't say that other thing.
I'm just saying the Timberwolves are playing really damn good basketball lately.
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. Moist One says, you said Rams wouldn't be able to make that work on March 9th, you silly poo-poo head. Well, I just didn't realize that they were going to end up losing. Who'd they lose? Von Miller went to
Buffalo.
Yeah. I didn't, at that point, didn't know that Von Miller would be moving on. That opened a door for this sort of a thing. And so at that time, that was somewhat wise. I don't know the future, Moist One, and neither do you, man. So, all right, the Rams are talking, and it's not done deal yet either, Moist One. So don't count your lost chickens before they hatch. Malcolm Butler, when I saw that Malcolm Butler was talking New England, I thought, was he just trying to get a one-day deal and going to retire? No. Turns out they signed him to a 2-year deal worth about $9 million. I thought Malcolm Butler was just sort of widely thought of as done.
Not really. He's never been the most athletic corner, but he's a good piece where he fits, and he fit really well in New England. He fit really well when he was playing for the Titans, and he actually played pretty well with the Cards. And then he kind of had to take a step back last season. I think it was a mental health thing. But he never said he was done. So I guess he's finally back and ready to go.
I guess old Belichick doesn't have hard feelings for anybody. 888-368-1580. So I'm looking at the draft order. Now that is subject to change at any moment where a trade happens. In fact, I did have to redo it after the Tyreek Hill thing. And I have this on one side. And now on the other side, I've got the fact that Mike Tomlin is getting buddy with Malik Willis during his pro day. Mm-hmm. Now, is that just buddy because, hey, I kind of like the guy. Hey, all right. Or is something up? Because I'm looking at the draft order and who needs a quarterback. Now, the Steelers are down at 20. Their pick is at 20. And you've got the Lions who need a quarterback. Don't even at me on this. You know I'm right. The Lions, the Texans, the Panthers, and the let's see here. The Texans have 2 picks before before your boys do. Let's see. Seahawks need a quarterback. Saints need a quarterback. Then there's the Steelers at 20. There's no way. And people are saying, well, Malik Willis could fall to the Saints. There's no way he's going to get down to the Saints. And there's 0% chance he's going to get down to the Steelers, which means if Mike Tomlin thinks Malik Willis is his guy, they're sitting there eating chicken wings and they had dinner, eating a lot of chicken wings and crab fries. He says, they were fire. That's what Willis says. That's young person talk for yummy. So Mike Tomlin doing some work on Malik Willis. Do they have what they need to try to trade up into a position where the Steelers can get their next guy?
It's going to take a lot of first round picks to get from 20 to where you're safe, to where you can actually jump ahead, because the Lions aren't taking a quarterback this year. They are mediocreizing.
Right.
But you get down to where the Panthers
Texans
are sitting at 6. The Texans too, but I think that some of these top defensive players are just so good. I don't know that you pass on them.
Seahawks
ahead of some of these quarterbacks, but you're not getting past the Panthers at 6.
You can't. And the Texans have 2 picks.
We're looking at the Falcons at 8. You've got to get ahead of the 2 of them. You do.
It's the Texans. I think the Texans for sure in the first round will take a quarterback, whether it's their first pick or at 3 or their next pick at 13. They are going to take a quarterback. I guarantee that.
I think they'd have to do it with the second one, because
and then your Washington football team is ahead of the second Texans pick. You guys need a quarterback.
They're not taking a quarterback. They're all in on Carson Wentz. Whether we believe that makes sense.
The Saints.
They're not. They're just dumb.
You don't think the Saints are going to take one of these? There's 2 quarterbacks worth of damn. You don't think that the Saints are going to take one of those 2?
Maybe, but you just signed a 2-year deal with Jameis Winston. If your plan was just go get a quarterback, then
veteran presence as you're bringing your rookie along.
It's certainly possible.
But Jameis Winston is still a project himself.
And you can
true.
I mean, and there are quarterbacks that if you sit there and wait, like if we're going to develop a guy, then why not wait for Matt Corral to get to you at 18 or Sam Howell to get to you at 18? Where with Malik Willis, he's going to be gone in the top 10 somewhere.
I don't think Malik Willis is probably all that bright in the ways of the world. Let me read you what he said about Tomlin. It was cool meeting him. He's a normal dude. That's what you want. He's a normal dude eating his chicken wings over there. I was like, Mike Tomlin eats chicken wings? I felt like that was cool too.
I think he was just impressed he met Mike Tomlin, and here's this guy that's just been synonymous with winning. You don't, because Malik Willis in his mind isn't famous yet. And here's the most famous person he's ever met. And he's just, he's a normal guy like me, is what he was trying to say.
Everybody eats chicken wings. Everybody. Malik needs a little more time in the world, I think. But he had a hell of a pro day. Who do you think had the best pro day so far of the upcoming quarterbacks? I mean, Pickett with his little hands, Malik Willis. I mean, who's standing out right now as the first couple of quarterbacks to go in this draft?
I think that Pickett and Willis have separated themselves, and Willis looks like the better player. Just the mobility.
He's got bigger hands.
He's fast. I mean, if you want to talk about the bigger hands, but also he's got the bigger arm. He just can throw the ball all over the field. And NFL, you talk about making every throw. He can make every throw, and easily. So you want to get him, in a film room understanding NFL offenses, because the physical tools, the traits, they're there. And the pro day, I think, showed it better than anybody else.
Fish Tank says, sorry, folks, no draft party at the garage bar due to the fact the Dolphins aren't drafting anybody this year. He has to watch and see what the Chiefs do with the Dolphins picks. Sorry, Fish Tank. Yeah, sorry about that. Thoughts and prayers on your loss. Last Optimist says quarterback needy teams are planning to suck this year for a good draft pick, and there's a lot more college quarterback options in the 2023. That's why nobody wants Jimmy G or Baker. They cost too much, and they win too much when you're trying to tank. That's a good point. You want to tank, but you don't want to be obvious about it, especially with Flores going after the NFL for being offered money to tank. That's the thing now. All the owners in the NFL are like, don't get caught.
This is the beauty, the absolute genius of the Lions trading Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff is it kind of looks like they were trying. Like they're just, we moved our guy to a contender. We got a guy who's been to a Super Bowl. We all know he's terrible, but he's been to a Super Bowl. You can always say that, but he's been to a Super Bowl, and then you get to stink enough to draft high.
If there's an investigation, the Lions would just have to be like, well, we never watched the Rams. They're on in California. We could bet. So we haven't seen their games.
Yeah,
They're like, sounds legit. That's
they don't have the Jaguars excuse of having hired Urban Meyer, who didn't know who Aaron Donald was.
Oh my God. I think he, to be fair, I think he was being a wise ass about that. You think, but then you read some of the transcripts of some of the things he tells other players, and you're like, oh wow, how did he not get decked? You would think he'd get punched. Urban Meyer, good riddance to bad rubbish. Blissful Hayes says Randy was correct. John Morant isn't playing tonight for the Timberwolves. Well,
I was true. I was correct about that. Yeah.
Hamilton Porter says, Jeffrey, with all due respect, what don't the Lions need? Any of my guff, according to who was that? They told me to buy a box of screws. Yeah. Let's see. Moist One says Diamondbacks legend Stephen Bott signed back with the A's. Just so you know. Did I say his name right?
Does it matter?
Vogt.
Does it matter?
I think you did.
Vogt, I think is his name, but
Vogt.
Does it matter?
Well, I'm just trying to say the name right, Randy.
Do we need to bring up the Diamondbacks ever again on this program?
You know Moison's like that, right? I think he's a Mariners fan. Senior Wake and Bake says all your teams are liars and the Niners is the truth.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Fish Tank says this just in, the New York Jets have been mathematically eliminated today from the playoffs. No, he's right.
Well, hold on. Let him screw up the draft first.
Man,
no, it's already true.
I want to see Selah do good, man. I like him. I think he's a good dude, but man, that's funny.
Yeah, when bad teams happen to good guys. Oh, well. We got to take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about that old Baker Mayfield guy. Boy, all of a sudden he was legit, and all of a sudden he wasn't legit. Now he's getting ready to be homeless or something. Come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs. Protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com. Bruce Jacobs here again from my friends at ProCopy. For the last year, you've heard me talk about how ProCopy has provided Arizona companies with the best office equipment available for over 20 years, plus their outstanding service after the sale with a 96% retention ratio and award-winning technicians. Now part of Flex Technologies Group, they are committed to ProCopy's industry leadership and excellence. Whether you have branches anywhere in the U.S. or right here in Arizona, you can count on ProCopy and Flex Technologies for all your office equipment needs. They focus on print, document management, document production, and managed IT, representing the best brands such as Canon and Ricoh. They proudly serve over 35,000 customers nationally. They still remain a local company and continue to give back to the community. The ProCopy Foundation has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that makes doing business with ProCopy good for your business. Give them a call, 602-PROCOPY. That's 602-776-2679, and tell them Bruce Jacobs sent you.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
802-341-4535. 802-341-4535. 802-341-4535. That's 802-341-4535.
Arizona Rattlers football.
Exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Tune in to hear every home game live. Let's go, boys. Don't miss a second of all the high-paced action as the Rattlers chase another world championship.
Hey, we're going to win. It's going to be on us.
Rattlers football on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Or streaming live at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, the last hour, I tried to talk about this, and I got all choppy. So let me know if I go choppy when I talk about this. The forces of evil may be against us and may not want me to utter these sentences. So if it becomes evil, you got to let me know. For sure.
Will do, Jocko.
All right. So tomorrow night, we got the Sweet 16 starting up. Arkansas and Gonzaga. We got Michigan and Villanova. We got Texas Tech and Duke. And we got Houston and screw Arizona. Okay. All four of those games. Now, there are a lot of these games are going to be happening at the same time. But Westwood One does a thing where they red zone it. They cut away to the most interesting moments and the most interesting situations. And if a game gets boring, they go to a different game. And they kind of flip-flop around and make sure you get the best action that there is to get in the Sweet 16. So we got that Thursday night and Friday night here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Whip around coverage.
Yeah. Did the evil forces come against me again?
No, you were crystal clear.
No, you were good. Perfect.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Boogie says, fun fact of the day, Just the Tip was in a short film in the 1980s with Betty White. See, now, Boogie, you need to understand something. That was a joke. He was trying to make a dirty joke on the Twitter. And you probably should go back and read that again, understanding that. And you spent most of 24 hours in that conversation on Twitter. He was just pulling your leg. You can't believe everything you read on the internet, Boogie. Sorry. Big George says, when are you guys going to talk about the big Arizona Diamondbacks news? The Diamondbacks avoided arbitration today and agreed to a 1-year contract with Carson Kelly, Jordan LePlow, Christian Walker, and Luke Weaver. Well, I guess we did it right then. Randy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Diamondbacks.
No comments.
Avoid arbitration. Yeah.
Randy's not impressed.
Mm-hmm. We got a 3-hour show here.
I am not impressed with the Diamondbacks. I'm not impressed with their coaching staff. I'm not impressed with the ownership group, the team president, the damn mascot, the grounds crew. I'm not impressed with anything to do with the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. Great. They avoided arbitration with mediocre players on a mediocre team. So hooray. Yay. The ownership doesn't have to pay multi-million dollars to mediocre players, as they shouldn't. Yay.
How do we cheer up, Randy?
Oh, when it comes to the Diamondbacks, I don't know.
No, I mean, in sports in general. I mean, let's see. The Suns cheer you up, right? Talking about the Suns.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing
Suns
great.
Yeah, they're doing wonderful. The Coyotes having a horrible season, but I see a lot of promise there with what Armstrong's doing with the team. They've made a lot of moves. They have a ton of draft picks coming up here. They've got some great young players. They've signed another one, McCain. They signed him to a 2-year deal today, which is I think is excellent news for this. But their ownership group is a bunch of morons as well. They'll be playing in a multi-purpose room out at ASU with 5,000 seats. So good luck. Good luck going to a Coyotes game next year.
Don't talk about the Cardinals for a while and try to avoid.
Oh, we can talk about the Cardinals. I mean, they haven't made any moves yet. I'm cautiously optimistic. They're going to end up giving the farm to Little Caesar, and I've fallen out of love with him. As far as I'm concerned, they haven't done a whole lot this year, so I'm not impressed by the Cardinals organization right now. They locked up their coach and their stellar GM, though. Yeah, wow, that was close.
Mr. Wilbur says, let me tell everybody what Randy truly has to say about the Diamondbacks. Randy is going to take a wait and see attitude.
No, I can see clearly. I don't even have to put my glasses on. I can see how poorly run and poorly operated this organization is. And I'm just sick about it. Sick, I tell you.
Number one Rattlers fan says Betty White slept with Frank Sinatra. True fact. I don't think she did. Did she say unless she said she did in some autobiography or something like that? Then no, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it for
I guess
a second.
we'll never know now, will we? Because they're both.
Well, they're both
beyond.
deed, but I need to see her having said that, Rattler fan. I can't believe that about our Betty. Just can't believe that.
Our all-American Betty White.
That's right. I mean, if she was a floozy, it wasn't for the mob. I'll tell you that right now. So Baker Mayfield is just like, boy, have I made some mistakes. I should have kept my mouth shut a couple of different times because now they got old Deshaun Watson with the Browns and Baker Mayfield saying, I want to trade. Now he's like, oh, crap. Where the hell can Baker Mayfield go? Where will he go? Here's the choices. The Lions, but everybody's screaming at me that there's no way that'll happen because they're going to ride it with Goff and mediocreize, as I've said. Houston Texans are an idea. Is there a reason they wouldn't take on Baker Mayfield? I feel like you could still mediocreize with Baker Mayfield.
You probably could. I mean, he's not going to be bad enough. Like with Davis Mills, he's a second-year player. He hasn't really proven all that much. He just had some flashes last year where he looked pretty decent. A healthy Baker Mayfield, because last year Baker Mayfield was held together by paper clips and some string and a couple of rubber bands. A healthy Baker Mayfield will win you enough games. You're not going to draft next year where you want to draft, even if you're the Texans.
And if teams are doing what I think you hit the nail on the head last segment. If teams are really doing what you think they're doing, mediocreizing, they're not going to pay Baker Mayfield a ton of money to come in here and play for their team. So I think he's out of work. I
don't feel like you got to pay him a ton of money now.
Yeah, he's still on his rookie deal on the last year of it, so it's a slight increase in pay, but we're still talking about like $3 or $4 million.
But didn't he sign an extension last year with the Browns?
The Browns never committed to an extension with Baker. That was actually one of the points of conversation. Was he's going out there, he's playing hurt, he's putting up these awful numbers, and they haven't committed to him.
All right, so the Panthers, are they mediocreizing? Here's a team I don't see mediocreizing. I think that the Seahawks would be a logical place for Baker Mayfield to go. Seahawks are not that much higher than where the Steelers are in the draft order, so they'd have to probably work up a little bit if they want to get one of those two guys. So is it possible that the Seahawks, and again, you say he's in the last year of a rookie deal, you'd only have to start paying him the next year if you're going to keep him around. Is this a guy that Pete Carroll could get behind?
Maybe if Baker goes in and buys into what Seattle wants to do, which Pete Carroll has been pretty clear. His plan is we want to run the football a bunch. This is not the show about and for the quarterback. We're about defense and we're about running the football. If Baker wants to come in and play inside of that structure and say, look, I'm going to be the game manager, he might be a good fit.
Since Marshawn Lynch, and even with him sometimes, that hasn't paid off. In the only games you see the Seahawks winning are the ones where Russ Wilson jumps up and says, okay, the hell with this. We're playing some real ball, and he wins it himself. So now you got the Seahawks. Pete Carroll is sticking to his guns in the run first idea. He's got Drew Lock there. So why would they bring in anybody? They're just going to run the ball all the damn time. Drew Lock can hand it off with the best of them.
He can, but what happens when that person starts to throw the football? In this case, Drew Lock. Is Drew Lock going to make mistakes? Is he going to, when we grind for 8 minutes and a quarter up the field and get into the 20 and do have to throw on maybe a 3rd and 7 or something, is he going to make a good throw so that we can get back to running the football? That is where maybe you don't have as much faith in Drew Lock as a guy like Baker, who is really good at the run pass option. You could maybe do some deceptive stuff there.
All right. So what do you think? Will Pete Carroll pull the trigger and get himself a Baker Mayfield?
I don't think so. I don't think so. My gut feeling with Baker Mayfield, he ends up as a number 2 guy in like New York or something like that.
I I could see Pete Carroll doing it if he thinks that this rebuild is only going to be a couple of years. This is not a full, we blew everything up, but we just need to get a quarterback locked in. If we're going to be competitive in this 2022 season, then you pull the trigger on a Baker Mayfield, because if you think you're going to be even remotely competitive, you're not doing it with Drew Lock.
You don't have to pay him a lot of money. So I kind of feel like if you're not having to mediocreize, meaning you got kind of a crap team sitting there anyways, Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans, you could bring in Baker Mayfield and it's not going to hurt or help, hurt your draft chances or help your winning. But it looks like, well, we got Baker Mayfield. Well, I didn't. So you see what I'm saying? I don't think
and it makes
Texans,
more sense for Houston. I do think Carolina wants to get a quarterback this year that can help them win. So I think
do they have a winning team with a good quarterback? I haven't really felt that with the Panthers.
The owner thinks so. David Tepper thinks so. I mean, they've got he pays the one that's going to sign the paycheck. It does matter what he thinks.
I mean, I just don't care.
I mean, none of us should. Yeah. But when it comes to making a move on Baker Mayfield, and if you think you can draft somebody potentially better and get your own guy, and remember, we're going into year 3 now of Matt Rule, so he's under a little bit more pressure to win football games than some of these coaches who are going into year 1 or year 2. They need to get a quarterback, and I don't think that Baker moves the needle for them.
Big George says, Randy, what did Baxter the Bobcat and the Diamondbacks ground crew do to you? They're not to blame for the Diamondbacks' inept leadership.
Well, they put in that crappy grass. They got that stupid artificial grass in there now, and D. Baxter, really, why couldn't it have been some sort of like a snake or I don't know,
right?
D. Baxter.
Yeah, why?
Really? How does that tie into the Diamondbacks? D. Baxter, just because Jay Bell's daughter came up with what the hell do I care what Jay Bell's daughter thinks about having a damn a character for the Diamondbacks?
I agree 100%. You should have tried to do something more rattlesnake-ish. I mean, you can't get a guy in a rattlesnake outfit, but who says you need a mascot in the stands? Who says you even need that?
I don't
even. And I don't know. Teams have done the snake mascot before, at least at the college level.
I'm just surly about the Diamond. Oh, how far they've fallen since 2001. I'm just tired of watching my team just get the stuffing beat out of them day and night. Meanwhile, the ownership group just pad their pockets full of money and cry poor.
I got a question about the Diamondbacks. Did the same guy own the Diamondbacks when they won the World Series?
No. Jerry Colangelo and his group, the same, essentially the same people that own the Suns, also owned the Diamondbacks. And then there were some new guys that came in and they forced Jerry out, and it's gone south ever since. I don't like it. They're just. Jock Peterson was on the Twitter saying, shame on you teams like the Orioles and the Pirates. He should have said the damn Diamondbacks too. You got ball clubs out there with 190, $200 million payrolls. And then you got teams out there like the Orioles, the damn Pirates, $30 million a year. Give me a break. If you're trying to do this on a budget, go rob from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, because they're the ones that do it right. They know how to put together a winning franchise on a budget. Give me a break.
Hamilton Porter says, I vote for a live rattlesnake, a mascot in the stands.
Absolutely.
Or here's like, ladies and gentlemen, check on your seat. If you find a live rattlesnake, you're welcome. And anti-venom will be available at the concession stand for a price.
It's the Diamondbacks. It's not the Bobcats. You name the team the Bobcats if you're going to have D-backs or the Bobcat. Give me a break.
Bobcats is not a bad name.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. No. But you got this nice name, the Diamondbacks. You think Diamondbacks, you think, oh, geez, I don't want to go play these guys. They're snakes. Mm-hmm. These guys, they'll bite me and I'll die. And now you got some fluffy kitty cat that belongs down in Tucson somewhere with that university down there.
That's a wildcat.
It's a damn bobcat. It's a house cat or a feral cat. I don't know what the hell it is.
I don't like
Get him out of here. Give me a break.
Baxter the Bobcat was created because Chase Field was once known as Bank One Bob Ballpark. Remember the Bob? That's why they call it that. You know that.
Yeah. Well, it's no longer the Bob. Get rid of him.
Pro Dog says Seahawks may go for a quarterback in the second or third round, hoping to get a less hype guy that can beat out Locke. Like Wilson beating out Flynn back in the day. Donnie says, but what does Randy feel about baseball nets at Chase? No, Donnie, you know better than that. Don't wind him up. It's not time for what's bugging Randy. It's going to be time for what's bugging Keon. We're going to be doing that here in a moment. So we already know what's bugging Randy. Last Optimist says, rumors are Seattle thinks Drew Lock will win too many games, so they're going to bring in the old Kaepernick. It's such an uncomfortable thing about Kaepernick. He's 5 years removed, and forget about everything else around this. I just don't see any way this guy can come in and be competitive after 5 years away from the game.
And especially when his greatest strength was his mobility. And 5 years later, you don't get faster.
And his hair got bigger, and that's going to slow him down. Just the drag. The aerodynamics are not on his side. Somebody should have given him a chance 5 years ago, but the NFL blacklisted him, and that's the end of that. And anybody who thinks otherwise is naive. But even then, though, yes, he was blacklisted. But also, yes, he wasn't playing very well. Remember when Kurt Warner went to try to work with him, and Kurt Warner's like, I give up. He's not getting it.
Yeah.
So
I just at the time, Blake Bortles was in the damn league. So like that, Blake Bortles.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. But
I know he wasn't playing well, but
Kaepernick was playing badly. So that plus pissing everybody off, and whether justified or not, his level of play. I wish he would have taken the stand when he was really hot. You know what I'm saying? If he had taken the stand when he was really hot, it would have meant more, and it would have been harder for them to do to him what they did to him later. So it's a shame. As we say about when people cheat, which I do believe that Kaepernick was cheated of a chance. I'm going to say this. We'll never know now, will we? But here 5 years later, come on, man. There's no way he'd be ready to play. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll find out what's bugging Keon Rose. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
Okay, you're back to dining out, but there's dining and there's dinnertainment. Get ready for an amazing dining experience like none you've ever had at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. When it comes to Asian cuisine, nobody does it better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where delicious 7-course meals prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on teppanyaki, sushi, cocktails, and more. Book your night of fun right now. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com, or call 480-607-1114. That's 480-607-1114. We'll see you there.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we are not a news station, but people are shooting every place right now. We got shooters at Hanger Outlets in Glendale. 3 people have been injured. One of them a child. I have no idea what's going on there. And then just saw that there was word at 35th Avenue in Calvac. There was a shooting at a gas station right there. So everybody just go home. Go home and be safe. I don't know what's in the air today. I don't know what's going on. Just go home. Don't go to the store. Just go straight home and let's ride this thing out. It is crazy out there, people. 888-368-1580. And it is time now to find out what is in his craw. What has aggravated this man? He is all of 32 years and 1 day old. Let's find out what's bugging Keon Rose.
Well, I could talk about my bracket in Kentucky and the St. Peter's
your bracket.
Peacocks.
No,
I mean,
we all understand.
It's bugging me, but I'm not going to make this about me. I'm not going to make this about myself. I'm actually going to make this about everybody watching college basketball over that first weekend, because I believe that everybody, and literally everybody that was watching, deserves a whole lot better, because the officiating has been atrocious. It's been awful.
Let me guess. You're mad about the guy who got a technical foul for hanging on the rim, aren't you?
That's one of them.
Yeah,
that's one. Yeah,
stupid.
I mean, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. RJ Melendez of Illinois in a close game gets a technical for hanging on the rim. How does that happen? Because the only time that that's supposed to happen is if the player is clearly attempting to show up the other team, which is not what he was doing. You hang on the rim to try and get your balance back so you can land on your feet and not hurt yourself, which is exactly what he did. He was called for a technical foul. But we could also talk about the end of that TCU Arizona game in regulation. Ended at 75 apiece. TCU player had the ball and was essentially tackled at the end of the game. And the Arizona player that picked the ball up wasn't able to score in time. So we went into overtime where Arizona, championship medal. They find a way to win, but they got a little of assistance there. I mean, TCU had a legitimate opportunity to try and get a shot off and try and win that game in regulation. And they were robbed of that because the officials decided at the exact wrong time to swallow the whistle. What about Texas and Purdue? The biggest disparity that we've seen in free throws since 2017. Purdue shot 46 free throws compared to Texas's 12 in that game. And yeah, Texas fouls a lot, but they lost by 10 in a game where the other team was essentially given 8 or 9 touch fouls as free throws. The officials have to be better on this stuff. And that's not even before we get to the end of the USC Miami game, where identical fouls happened on one end of the floor. It was not called on one end for against Miami, but it was called for them on the other end of the floor. That kind of stuff can't happen in a tournament this big, this important. We've seen the gambling money now flowing around. You're starting to see this stuff. And when the officials have been interviewed about it, one of the head of officiating for the NCAA, he believes that the officiating has been fine, actually, that the officials have made about 90% of the correct calls. But if you make bad calls in the biggest moments of the games, that's not only what we all remember, that's not only what we all walk away from when we think of this, but we're also kind of robbed of what these guys are here for. I say all the time, if one foul can sink you, if one bad call can sink you, you didn't really play hard enough. And I usually mean that for professionals. These are college athletes.
What's the difference? Why does that matter?
I think it matters because you have some guys that maybe aren't the best athletes. And I think that, if you're going to have the balance be out there where we don't have a payroll, some guys are St. Peter's. They went out, they handled their business with not the talent that Kentucky has. But if you're going to have all of these schools from all of these different sizes of conference and different points of play, you've got to make sure that you've got as even a playing field out there for all of them as they can, so that the talent and the skill and the experience, all of that takes center floor, and not whether or not the officials swallowed the whistle at the wrong damn time.
So that's what's bugging you, the officiating in March Madness.
So far, I'd love to see it get better. We've got another weekend of great games coming up. They can improve it. They could do better than they did the week before, but that was not a great start as far as officiating went, in my opinion.
All right. Were you okay with officiating most of the year?
For most of the season? Yeah, for most of the year, yeah.
So why is this happening now? Why are the NCAA refs blowing it, in your opinion? Why? Why would this happen?
It's tough to tell, because some of it is just punitive stuff. Like you go back to the guy that was hanging on the rim. We've seen a few of those where the refs have just gone a step further. I believe in the North Carolina game, there was a player that got a flagrant 2 for an elbow, where a lot of people watching that game thought that was a flagrant 1. They seem to be taking just a step further in some cases than they have to be taking. In other cases, I think that they want the play to be a little bit more physical, but you've got to be consistent with that. If you want the play to be physical and you're not going to call it in the first half, don't start calling it in the second half and vice versa. Just some consistency would be nice, because we're trying to make decisions based on what the officials are doing. And if the officials are allowing something, they can't suddenly stop allowing it, which they've done a couple of times.
Joe P says, I say it shouldn't be 90%. It should be 100% given the caliber of the event.
It's the biggest sporting event in your sport in college basketball. All eyes are on you. It should be as close to 100% as humanly possible.
All right. So you had a lot of games going on. Okay. First round, second round. That's a shitload of games. But now you've got 8 games between Thursday night and Friday night. That's 8 games. That's 8 referee crews. How are they deciding who the crews are? Is it the same thing as the NFL, where they find who has the best crew and who has the highest percentage of correct calls? Do they grab those crews for the Sweet 16 and then on the Elite 8 and then on the Final 4 and then on to the championship game?
They try to do that and also try and shake it up. So some of these crews, for instance, you put a Big 12 crew on a game between a team from the Pac-12 and the ACC. You're trying to get them away from the conferences that they referee, so that there's not as much bias involved there. And you get the best crews from throughout the season. And then, of course, those crews, as they do a good job throughout the tournament, they also get to move on and continue to referee. And you leave some of the weaker crews behind. So there is a chance this could get better as we continue to move forward.
Hamilton Porter says Keon is right. Michigan State literally beat Davidson because of the officiating.
It didn't help. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't like seeing the what ifs of what if the officials didn't stink. That's the worst what if in sports.
Mr. Wilbur says, Keon, let me remind you that your Kentucky team is out of March Madness.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah, I noticed that, because there's only 3 number 1 teams listed in the Sweet 16 right now. All right. So anything else bugging you?
No, that's mostly it.
Okay. Because now I want to ask you a question. Who is most likely, because I might want to make a bet this week. Who do you think is most likely to get upset in the Sweet 16 Thursday and Friday night? Just one good upset that you feel strongly about, that maybe I can go put $1.
Most likely to get upset, I feel really strongly about Arkansas and Gonzaga.
You think Arkansas is going to beat Gonzaga?
I do. This is not the same Gonzaga team from a year ago. That team had better ball handlers than this team does, and Arkansas loves to run. If they get into a track meet with the Razorbacks, I think the Razorbacks win it.
I wonder what the odds are on that, because I have Gonzaga winning the tournament. So if I'm going to bet against that, at least that would offset. So if Gonzaga wins, I feel pretty good because my team won the tournament. But if Arkansas wins, if I got money on it, then I feel pretty good about that. So somebody's got to tell me what the odds are check the FanDuel thing, Randy. Let me know what your guys say about this. I may actually have to go over there and make that bet. So Arkansas and Gonzaga, it's not a huge upset when it's number 4 versus number 1. So I'm going to guess that the odds ain't going to get me tons of money, right?
Arkansas is a 9.5 point or 9.5 underdog. 9.5 point underdog.
Wow. So is that a situation I should do the over under, or is that when I should do the money line?
Well, the over is 155. The over under is 155. So if you think that they're going to score combined over under 155 points, then do that.
What's the money line on that?
The money line is plus 375 for Arkansas, minus 500 for Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. You know what? I think I'm going to hedge my bracket bet by taking that upset bet for Arkansas. Thanks, Keon. Appreciate that. And I'll tell you what, if Gonzaga still wins on Friday, we'll have an episode of What's Bugging Jeffrey O'Brien. I had $1. No, I won't blame you. I'm not like that. 888-368-1580. Navy Brad says, Randy, NASCAR question. In the last few races, I've seen way too many tire issues. Will NASCAR try to fix that issue?
Well, it just kind of depends on how these cars are learning how to adjust the tires. Remember, they no longer have a solid axle rear end. They have an independent rear suspension now, which is going to affect all 4 tires. They can adjust the camber and the toe, as you well know, on all 4 tires. So they might be adjusting and experimenting, and that might be working on some of these other tires that they didn't expect. So this is really a learning phase. This early part of the season is a learning phase for all these NASCAR teams. I don't think it's a tire issue. I think it's a setup issue. And I think these teams are learning this new car and the way it responds to different types of setups. It doesn't respond the way last year's car did.
You took a fine time to leave me loose, wheel.
I thought you said no country music on you.
That one line, and that's it. Listen, I had to listen to that horrible crap in the back of my dad's car. I could at least parody something. My first time ever on the radio was a parody of Achy Breaky Heart. It was Icky Sticky Fart, and I sang like Billy Ray Cyrus. That's it. It's one thing when you're trying for a joke. It's another if you don't want to have PTSD. That's what country music does to me. That rhymed. It's a one thing to have the PTSD. That's what the country music did to me. Yeah,
more of a banjo, I think.
Yeah,
you need more
of banjo music there. Yeah. I'll get it with Steve Martin. We'll cut an album. So there you go, Navy Brad. There you go. Big George sends a picture of seriously? He wears a Speedo? I guess he says last year Arizona Diamondbacks mascot D Baxter was rated the second most obnoxious mascot of 2021. Only Philly Fanatic was voted more obnoxious. Slider of the Cleveland Indians came in after Baxter on the most obnoxious list, followed by Swingin' Friar of the Padres and Blooper of the Braves. Yeah, now that I see this picture of the Bobcat, do better, but Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
Ugh.
The Philly Fanatic is at least designed to be obnoxious. This is obnoxious on accident, which is worse.
Joe P, I think I'm going to take that bet too. He says Arizona will or might be upset. Houston's supposed to be faster team, which might tire out the bigger Wildcats. Not a Wildcats fan, by the way. We'll see, fellas. You know what? That's a good point. I think I might put $1 on that one too. Okay, thanks for that, Joe P. And again, I'm not going to get mad at people if nothing hits. I don't work that way. Floppy Bumper says, is it sad the only country music artist that I ever enjoyed was Ray Stevens? Wasn't that the guy who did those funny songs?
Yeah, he did The Streak.
They call him The Streak. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Cowboy Sparky says, you need more cowbell in your song, Jeffrey. Bruno Baller says, has today been the last Blender show for the week, or you got partial shows Thursday, Friday? We decided it's worth doing at least 1 hour. So we will do an hour on Thursday, an hour on Friday. We draw the line at 1 hour. If it's 45 minutes, we say, oh, to hell with it, go to network. But for an hour, we can get a lot done, we think. All right, well, we're delusional.
We hope.
Yeah, that's never happened. Fighting Wampa says, hey, maybe Sarver can buy the Diamondbacks. That way he can have an excuse for talking about a snake in the office. He can just say he's discussing the new team mascot and he doesn't get in trouble.
No comment.
I'm thinking about it. There is logic to that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Fish Tank says Cincinnati is on that list of pathetic franchises, by the way. Ken Griffey Jr. is getting $3.5 million this year, making him the 6th highest paid player on the team. Who doesn't play?
Right.
Ufla says, whoa, Randy, my high school football team was the Bobcats. Don't associate them with you, Chalupa. Random Texter says, does a Bobcat for the Diamondbacks make any more sense than a gorilla does for the Suns?
No.
The difference is the sun is a big mass of incandescent gas. The Diamondbacks is an animal. The Bobcat's an animal. And the hell they have to do with anything with each other? That's the point, man.
Right.
All right, guys. One more hour of the Daily Blender coming up next here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
Doug.
Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Put the fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Look, wearing sunglasses.
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona. When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter, National Safety Council, and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canyer with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Uncertain times can lead to fearful investing, which could leave you in a bad spot, especially if you're trading on emotion. When tumult opens and closes the market, you need sound advice.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact Asset Management, we specialize in providing complete wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter where the market goes. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo for a free portfolio review. We will also discuss how we can work together to create your customized retirement plan. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Again, call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
When someone hears the words, "you have cancer," it's one of the darkest moments in their life. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer by uniting survivors, patients, and supporters in the cause to end cancer. We form a community of hope, raising funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The discoveries made by LLS-supported research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. When we walk, cancer runs. Join the movement to end cancer today. Visit us at lightthenight.org.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K240 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Jagdog says, Randy, over under for wins the Diamondbacks this year, 66. You taking that over? You taking that under?
Under.
Yeah, I think you knew that, Jagdog. I think you knew that. Senior Wake and Bake says, screw Major League Baseball. Screw the Deadbirds. Screw the Indy Jackasses. Screw the Washington Wash-Ups. Go Niners. Okay, take a break there, buddy.
They are persistent, if not nothing else.
Speaking of the Redbirds, Good Cat says, if Kyler Murray wants to sit out because of the current contract, then don't let the door hit him where the good Lord split him, okay? Peace out, you immature crybaby. Grow up, Smurf.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Boomer Sooner says, hey, guys, it's hot up here in Anthem, man. I need an ice-cold beer and a shot. Headed out with the wife tonight to see a Beatles cover band. It should be okay. By the way, men's gymnastics national champs, Boomer Sooner, #1.
Wow.
There you go. Boomer Sooner right there, ladies and gentlemen, 888-368-1580. So the news has come out that Colin Kaepernick wants to have a tryout with the Seahawks. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the last hour, and here's the deal. Pete Carroll has said he deserves a chance. He deserves a chance in the NFL. So if Colin Kaepernick is saying, hey, Pete Carroll, put the money where the mouth is, bring me in, give me a tryout, this should have happened 5 years ago. This should have happened 3 years ago. Pete Carroll should have tried this guy out. And I don't think Russ Wilson would have been mad about it. I just don't understand. If you say Kaepernick deserves a place in the NFL, Colin Kaepernick says, okay, I'm here. I'll be down in a minute. Why not make this happen?
I don't know why it couldn't have happened 5 years ago. From all accounts, Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson are friends. So it's not like giving him a chance, even to be a backup, would have hurt Russ's feelings. I don't know why, unless it's just a matter of you believe he deserves a chance. You just don't think you're the person that should give it to him.
Just a couple of years ago, didn't he already have like an open tryout where NFL teams sent their scouts and sent representatives and stuff?
He was supposed to actually go have a bit of a workout or something with,
and then
I believe, the Seahawks, and then something went goofy on that. I don't remember what.
Well, he had a tryout, and then all of a sudden he changed the place of the tryout and the time of the tryout at last second, and that cost him some of the people from the NFL teams. Some of them went out there, and there was no action from the NFL teams on that. So
I think he was the whole blackballing thing was too hot for anybody to even mess with back then. So listen, it can be both things, guys. It can be that he did get blackballed for taking the knee and taking his stand. It could also be that he's not played in the NFL because he's not a very good quarterback anymore. It can be both things at the same time. And 5 years ago on this very show, I was saying, somebody give him a tryout so we can put this thing to bed. Because 5 years ago, if they'd given him a tryout and people had seen it and said, well, yeah, his play is not up to the standard. You know why nobody did that? Because nobody wanted to be called a liar. Nobody wanted to give him a tryout and then say, sorry, buddy, you're just not there. And then have Colin Kaepernick claim that you're a racist for not bringing him in as a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? It's a damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of thing. But if you just take a step back from this and look at the situation, honestly, he's not a very good quarterback anymore who has been blackballed. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if it was even true then, it's absolutely true now that 5 years removed, like even if he was really, really good then, and he wasn't, but if he was really, really good, 5 years removed from that, not playing football, not taking NFL snaps, not getting NFL reps, not throwing against NFL defenses does not make you better.
Yeah. So give him the workout and let's all move on with our lives. You know, it's a shame that this has gone on this way for 5 years. This should have happened a long time ago, one way or the other. And the fact that it didn't get done before goes back to the cheating thing where I always say, if somebody cheats, you never know now, will you? You'll never know who would have won that game. That's what I say about the Deflategate thing. Yeah, the Colts got their asses kicked by the Patriots. Would it have mattered? if the balls were properly inflated? Well, because the Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick cheated, we'll never know now, will we? We'll never know if that would have made that difference. So it's got to be fair. It's not fair. That's just the way it is. So we'll see what happens if Pete Carroll puts his gum chewing mouth where that money should be. So that didn't really come out right, did it?
Nope, not really. Phrasing.
He puts his money where the gum is. I don't know. Tell you what, this is a year where you could use a quarterback. I'll tell you that much. If you are playing up the speed, even I think is it. You know, I don't know. Is anybody giving him this nickname, Mel Kiper, Mushroom Head? I'm going to call him Mushroom Head because he looks like a mushroom. He looks like mushroom wearing glasses.
Wow.
Do you see that? Mel Kiper?
No,
Mushroom Head?
it's definitely there. Once upon a time, I don't know that was true, but his hair is ballooned to the size now where essentially that's what he looks like.
It's expanding. It's like when a sun goes, just before it goes supernova. Well, whatever. Mel Kiper Jr. He did his mock draft, and keep in mind when people talk about these things, we mock your mock draft. We mock your draft. But this maybe gives you some sort of a preview that he actually has no quarterbacks in the top half of the first round. I don't believe that for a second.
Teams are too desperate. They're too desperate for a functional quarterback to not take a chance on one of these guys that we know that this is not the best quarterback draft class, but it's not devoid of talent.
Yeah, the Seahawks are in the top half. The Commandos are in the top half. There's a lot of teams in the top half that need Texans, Vikings, maybe even. Commandos, Jets, maybe-ish, Seahawks, Falcons
definitely. There's
Panthers
in the top 15 alone. There are at least 4 teams that I imagine would take a swing at a guy. If
4 that will, 7 that should, but they won't.
They won't either because they just drafted a guy, or in the case of Washington, they just traded for a guy. He moved a bunch of assets for him. Those teams are not going to take a look at a quarterback, though. Quarterback would probably help. But the Carolina is absolutely looking at a quarterback right now, and they saw all of the musical chairs that happened, and now they're left without a quarterback. And it's easy to extend that coaching tenure if you're Matt Rule and company. If you say, okay, we're drafting a quarterback, clock really starts now with the rookie contract.
Yeah, Mel Kiper, you are incorrect. That's all I'm going to say. Watermelon says, this is crazy to hear about Kaepernick, but, they got Watson over there still in the NFL. He says, one's way worse and doesn't deserve to be in the NFL. Yeah, if Watson can still be around, then we look really bad for not having given Kaepernick a shot. Ukla says, geez, Keon, need some chapstick for all that butt kissing you're doing on radio, pal? What, just because he's agreeing with me because I'm right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly in what context we were talking about this.
I don't know. He's just going to say that with anybody who agrees with me.
Okay.
And listen, there's plenty of times Keon doesn't agree with me. So
I just disagreed with. With one of the quarterbacks. Some of the teams that are going to be taking quarterbacks. I just disagreed with you. I have no idea.
I disagree with you saying you disagreed with me. You did not.
Okay.
That would be why.
Either way, I don't know.
Yeah, Ukla's wrong, and so are you. Hefty says, what kind of mushroom for Mel Kiper's head? King Trumpet? Definitely not an oyster mushroom. I don't know names of mushrooms. He just looks like a mushroom. Shut up. 888-368-1580. So everybody's making a big deal out of something they should not make a big deal out. Tom Brady's been working out with Julian Edelman. And now everybody's like, ooh, is Edelman coming back? No, he's not. Edelman, he's aged out. He had injuries. He was a pretty okay wide receiver, made pretty better by Tom Brady. Edelman was a character. Edelman's a personality. Edelman is a guy who gives you his all. He's a bruiser. He's a tough guy. He is not coming back to the NFL. There's no way.
I wouldn't say there's no way, but it's like 90% not happening.
Okay, let's rewind to Keon Rose saying there's a lot of wide receivers, really good ones coming down in this draft. If Bruce Arians needs somebody, it's not going to be Edelman. The only way you think that
this is a man
comfort, like a blankie for Tom Brady if he can't get Gronk back?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, something like that. I mean, just going after your guy and just saying, look, this is my guy. I think we can win a Super Bowl. I'd like my guy to be on the ride there with me. And Bruce Arians wouldn't want Julian Edelman, but this is a man that allowed Tom Brady to talk him into Antonio Brown when he expressly said he did not want Antonio Brown. So I don't know exactly how much pushback Bruce Arians is offering on some of these things.
Well, Gronk tweeted out he's all for it. He's like, I sure hope he's coming back. And then the question still remains: is Gronk going back to the Bucs himself? So more questions need to be answered on that. But no, I would be shocked if Julian Edelman wants to come back or is wanted to come back. You know, he's pretty happy doing them drink commercials where he sits in the convenience store. I don't remember what that's for.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pro Dog says Seahawks brought Cap in and interviewed him back in the day. Pete asked him if he was okay being a backup, and he said, no, that's why nothing ever became of that in the past. You are correct. Now I think about that. Yeah, you are right. Ookla says, okay, Ookla's always wrong. Thanks a lot, Radio Pal. Hate me. Bala 51 says, agree with this. Bitses? Is he calling us? Did you just typo bitches? Agree with this, bitches. The Raiders will be the AFC West champions now that Hill is gone.
I'm not agreeing with that.
Nope. Sorry. Not
agreeing
even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. The Raiders are going to be fine.
They'll be very competitive.
I can't agree with that.
They may even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not winning the division.
Yeah. And I'm really not going to argue with a guy who can't say bitches correctly. What's that, bitches? Bitches.
It's like when you're a kid and you're trying not to swear, but you want to.
Or you don't know what the words mean. It's just not good. 888-368-1580. I need to give somebody a man card accreditation right here and right now. This guy is a genius. This guy thought ahead. And listen, maybe the bride was busy. Maybe the bride didn't read how they do the vows and stuff. Well, she had to have agreed to this. So there's the typical wedding, right? And it's like, the guy saying, and you promise to love him, hold him in sickness and in health during March Madness. And she's like, I do. And of course, the bridesmaid's got a chuckle out of this. And she says, I do. And now fast forward, he's sitting there watching March Madness. And she's just like, oh, that was in the vows. I can't get this dude is a genius. He got away with getting that in there. That's on paper. That's signed. You said it. We could just play that tape over and over again if you want to give me crap when I'm trying to watch the March Madness right there. How about that?
Wow.
And it wasn't like slipped in and she says, hey, this was agreed upon. And in fact, she posted a video and she's like, oh yeah, I did say that. And she was mad because the man sitting there on the couch, she videoed him and she's like, he hasn't moved in days. And she's mad. And she goes, then I have to remember this, and then showed the clip herself. So this guy is an inspiration, and he gets an instant man card accreditation as forethought. And the fact that he was able to get her to say, okay, I don't know what he gave up in return. I don't know what a horrible chick flick or TV show. There's probably a lot of Grey's Anatomy that is etched and burned into the back of this guy's brain because of this agreement as well. It can't have been just March Madness. I don't know what his side was, but I guarantee he gave up something.
And if he didn't, she needs to talk to her lawyer.
Some real housewives action written in the prenup or something, because you don't get anything for free. But whatever the case, man card accreditation to the guy who got that put into his wedding vows. That is super duper well done right there. Smart. Very, very smart. Guys, remember how I've said that I never fart or hack loogies in front of my wife? It's like I like to lift her up as a princess. I don't want to treat her down to the level I treat my buddies and kids. Yeah, I'll fart in front of kids all day. But I'll burp in front of kids all day. And, whatever. So, yeah, I've just never had this problem, but I don't know if you ever heard of Puka. She's a singer. She's this Brazilian singer named Puka, And evidently she's been hospitalized because she was holding in her farts too long. This is a true story.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's 27 years old, and she said she woke up at 5:30 a.m., severe stomach pains, ended up in the hospital because she was afraid to fart in front of her boyfriend. And can I just ask, Puka, just step out on the balcony, step out in the backyard. Maybe go into the living room if he's in the other room there. Well, how do you end up in the damn hospital? Nobody said you had to say, honey, pull my finger, but maybe walk down the hall. I'm very confused by all this. Now she's saying, girls, after what I've been through is horrible. Don't be ashamed to fart in front of your guy. No, don't do that either. Just politely remove yourself from the situation. We don't need that. We don't need you. Oh, wow. Some relationships, that's fine. If that's your relationship, okay. Whatever. But if, there's got to be a middle ground to just, tearing one off and then holding the sheet up over his head. Okay, Puka, I don't think you need to do that. She says, what's really embarrassing is not letting your guy sleep because you're in discomfort and had to go to the hospital with your guy and then being diagnosed with trapped farts in front of your guy. From now on, I'm just letting him rip. What she says.
She learned a lesson from this. I mean, maybe not the correct lesson, but she learned a lesson.
I feel like that there was probably a middle ground that should have been explored there. And yeah, it's not a man card situation to not pass gas or burp or hack loogies in front of your gal, but I'd encourage you guys to at least do your best. My wife has let me know sometimes in my sleep. I can't stop it. I can't be blamed, but I'm making that effort to treat her like a princess whenever I'm conscious, But when I'm with the kids, I'm Olympic style. Man, can I fart. I think I've told the story on the show where I once woke up a homeless guy across a parking lot with a good fart once. What was that? This little drunk guy underneath some newspapers popped up like a meerkat. I was very proud of that. But then the girl I was picking up for the date came out of the door with a scared look in her eyes, and I never saw her again. So, pick your moments, right? Senior Wake and Bake says that chick walk around with gas face. Floppy Bumper says, poor Puka. What a crappy situation. Big George says, who in their right mind would marry a girl named Puka? No, it's Puka. She's Brazilian, George. Hefty Lefty says, women don't fart or poop. It's science. They only have diarrhea and periods.
Wow.
I can't argue with science, though, right?
I suppose not.
He said it's science. So, not sure that's correct. Good Cat says that guy has to watch The Notebook on repeat for 72 straight hours if he gets the March Madness in the wedding vows. That's the only way. Yeah, I'm suspicious there's something like that, too. Watermelon says, Keon, $5 bet for the NFL season. Raiders will have double the wins of your Commandos. You want the action?
The Raiders are going to have 12 to 14 wins in that division? Are you insane? No.
Take the bet.
Yeah, of course I'm going to take the bet. It's not going to happen.
Take the bet.
I am taking the bet.
You better write that down. You better write that down so we don't forget. The Watermelon, you better pay up too. None of this, ghosting us for that $5. I don't know if you ever seen Better Off Dead. You think that kid going after John Cusack for the $2, the paper boy, you think that was persistent? Will you see what we do if you try to welch on a $5 bet with Keon? There's 3 of us. Just saying. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We have more NFL to talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Arizona basketball tomorrow in the Sweet 16, a 1 seed. They match up against a 5 seed Houston. So far for Arizona, they have gotten to this point thanks to an overtime win against Texas Tech, in addition to a win against TCU. For Houston, they've gotten to this point with wins against UAB and Illinois. Arizona goes into the game as a 1.5-point favorite. The Phoenix Suns, they are back at it this evening as well, as they are set to match up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Suns sit as a 1-point favorite. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
Dreaming of adventure beyond your backyard? NerdWallet can help you compare and find the smartest credit cards to get there. Use NerdWallet to compare travel cards with bonus miles to go from working from home to relaxing far, far away. Then use NerdWallet to compare cashback cards and turn everyday purchases into a beachside cabana big enough for the whole family.
Or Samantha the Third Tower.
She's the only boss you'll be answering to this week. Nice castle. Compare your way there. Find the smartest financial products for you on NerdWallet.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic is your exclusive home for the 6-time world champion Indoor Football League's Arizona Rattlers.
All right, listen up.
Tune in to The Fanatic for all the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Listen as the Rattlers work toward the playoffs and their 7th world championship in team history.
Let's keep it going.
Arizona Rattlers football, exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Middle of the week here on the Daily Blender on this Wednesday, and I got some good news for you bracket players, especially if you're wanting to lay some money down. Protect yourself against upsets in your brackets with Parlay Insurance on FanDuel Sportsbook. All customers can get up to $25 back each day if your parlay of 3 legs or more fails just 1 leg short. You know, like if I would have, maybe Arkansas. We were just talking about that. Arkansas beats Gonzaga. Then I take, let's see, Houston to beat U of A, even though I've got them in the Final Four. And then, I don't know. What's another one? Give me another one real quick. You pick your
Iowa
third.
State and Miami.
Okay, so let's say Iowa State. Maybe I take all 3 of those upsets, and one of them doesn't happen. I'm going to get $25 back right to my account. And you can build it yourself. You say you have trouble building parlays? Well, FanDuel's got you hooked up on that too with their parlay booker. You can go on the front page there and see what kind of parlays have already been made up, and people are jumping in on. The odds are right there in front of you, and you can take up those parlays. I remember just recently, several people got in on a parlay bet that paid off over $1 million. Everybody got a chunk of change on that. And a parlay is a great way for you to take just a little bit of money, like $1 or $2, $5, turn it into a big payout. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code Randy1580, and then you can bet all the brackets you want all tournament long. Promo code Randy1580 is the key for you on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You got to be 21 or older. And you have to be present in Arizona. If exactly 1 leg loses, refund issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. NCAA tournament SBK wager required. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Jeff, go.
All right. Thank you, Randy. So, Keon, you have officially agreed in a virtual handshake with Watermelon to the $5 bet that the Raiders will have double the wins of the Commandos. Now, of course, you're saying nay. He's saying yay. And it's a $5 bet right there. They have to have double the wins.
Yeah.
All right. Watermelon says, oh, Jeffrey, I pay up on my bets. I still owe you a Guinness for ASU versus Arizona football game. I'm just getting Keon to take some action for the first time. I'm going to make up some money that I need to with him later. Yeah, this is not where you're going to make any money.
I mean, look,
we got to wait a year for it too.
Yeah. Historically, Washington's been bad, but they've won 7 games 2 years in a row now. You're going to win 14 games as the Raiders in that division.
It's not happening.
All right.
Just not going to happen. Big George says, techno country? Well, what madman invented the genre of music there? Regular country is bad enough. I always said that they should combine country music and rap music and call it crap music, because I feel like that's what it would be. And then somebody did it. And I feel I was right. Hefty Lefty says, ooh, I actually still owe Watermelon $40 for the Raiders beating the Broncos twice last season. I didn't forget, my guy. I think a lot of people, when we have our first remote broadcast, which has got to be coming up here soon, now that, again, the whole thing is holding it up, is I want to make sure that you have ready access to antivirals from COVID before I put people at risk for doing a remote like this. But once we do, it's going to be interesting. We should probably run a video camera on it where everybody shows up. You see them all handing each other money.
It's just going to be a marketplace of
you this
bets that need to be paid off.
Cops, if they're around, and be like, oh my God, there's a lot of drug deals going on there. We better bust that. And now we're going to have a lot of explaining to do. So maybe we should have a pay off your bet booth. The 2 guys go in, exchange money, and no, that sounds even worse. Okay, just do whatever you want, but please do it in the parking lot. No, that sounds worse too. Hefty Lefty says, I always thought rap and country would be called hick hop.
I mean, there was a version of that back in the day. It's
hick hop.
Weird.
Very
no, strange.
Big no, thank you. Bala 51 says the Raiders will be the AFC West champions. It's science, Jeffrey. Yeah, we can't just keep calling everything science. I mean,
science has the multiple things that you can repeat in a row. So you've got to actually have a history of doing that. And recently, the history's not, it hasn't been great.
It's not. By the way, just a little something for Fed fan, and I don't know if she's still with us, but earlier she was, and I guess I should have talked about Ash Barty, who is the world #1 tennis player, retiring at the ripe old age of 25 years old. She's done. And it's not because she's physically unable. It's not because she's having problems in her noggin. It's because she's burnt out. I guess that's kind of a problem in the noggin, but it's not like mental health issues. She's just burnt the bleep out. Doing this your entire life. And remember, she was a Wimbledon champion at age 15 back in 2011. And she's had a hell of a career. And she just won a Grand Slam. So in Australia. So she's got nothing left to prove. Current world #1, 3-time Grand Slam winner. She was she won the French Open. She won Wimbledon. She won Australian Open. She's the first Australian to win her home major since Chris O'Neill in '78. First woman in Open era since 1968 to win each of her first 3 major final appearances, 15 career singles titles, 114 consecutive weeks at #1. That's the 4th longest streak since the rankings were even introduced in '75. She's won $23.8 million in career money. Her record, 305 to 102 career it wins right there. So, yeah, she says, I'm happy. I'm ready. It's time to chase other dreams. So
good for her. Because tennis is one of those brutal sports where if you don't start when you're like 5 or 6, it's kind of over. And I mean, we're talking intense training, not just playing for fun. From the time that you're a child to however long you continue to go. So we're talking 10, maybe even 15 years of just grinding tennis.
So she sounds like an amazing person and player, but you know who's never mentioned her? Fed Fan. So I wonder if this is somebody that Fed Fan, maybe has an issue with. So I was hoping that Fed Fan could comment on Ash Barty, but I think that once again, we're talking tennis and she's not here. It's very simple.
Fed Fan.
And this time we went in depth. I had a lot of stats.
Yeah, you did.
I had a lot of insight and information.
I mean, you actually downloaded information.
I did. I talked about her. And you know what else is interesting about her? And was she actually back in the day burnt out in 2014? She's like, I got to take a moment. So you know what she did? She ran off and played professional cricket. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, they have women's teams or is it all mixed? I don't know how that works.
No, they have women's teams.
It's like baseball or something, but she got paid to do it. So she's a multi-sport athlete. I mean, okay, let's be honest. Cricket doesn't look that hard.
Contraire.
Well,
Cricket's pretty
physically
tough.
demanding. It doesn't look physically demanding at all.
It depends on what your stance is on baseball. Does baseball look hard to you?
The only hard part about it for me is the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Trying to hit. That's the hard part of baseball. Fielding, throwing, running the bases, being smart enough to know when to go and not to go. Yeah, that's physical, but it's not that hard. To me, it's the batting and the pitching looks like it's excruciatingly hard too.
Yeah, pitching in baseball is absurdly hard. I don't fully understand. I'm not going to act like a cricket expert. My dad loved the game. He tried to explain it to me. I never understood it. It's still to this day, I am baffled by the game.
Right. But if you compare baseball to cricket, baseball is 100 times more physical than cricket. Cricket, you have a game that can last for days and nobody breaks a sweat. Can't be that hard.
People do break a sweat, though, is the thing. Yeah, they do. They certainly do. And hitting a cricket ball, it's a hard rubber ball, and it bounces. The way it bounces off the ground, if it hits you, the reason why they wear the masks as batters is if it hits you in the face, your face is done. So it's not a leisure sport by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I'm American.
They take this hard rubber ball and they get a running start. And at some point they come overhand with it and throw it at you. And you have to hit it with an oblong bat. And then you don't just hit it straight away like you do in baseball. You can hit it behind you. You get it off to the side. And you got a fielder out there who needs to catch it. And if it hits,
they don't have gloves, everything's barehanded.
Yeah, everything's barehanded.
All right. Well,
it's a decently tough game,
but baseball's got to be harder to do, right, Randy?
Oh, I would say cricket is probably a bit harder than baseball is.
Yeah. Now I want to try it.
Yeah, cricket again. You get a guy, the pitcher, who runs at you at a full sprint, and at some point launches the ball at you, and they short hop you, and then you have to hit it. The batter wears protective gear so you don't get hit by the ball.
Still feel like if Prince Charles can do something like that, anybody can do that.
The level of the game that Prince Charles is playing is a different. He's not playing the kind that hurts.
I didn't know they had optional it hurts kind.
Well, no, it's like the difference between playing like pickup basketball or like I used to play at the gym, and there was this guy that used to play at the University of Virginia, like never got off the bench. But when he started playing with us, we felt like he was abusing everybody because he was just set like 6'8", and just you go to guard him and he backs into you and you're flying. That's the level in difference. He's playing like the pickup cricket. The actual game of cricket is pretty tough.
Phenomenal athletes. Phenomenal.
Which game is more boring? Baseball or cricket?
Cricket by several orders of magnitude.
I don't find baseball boring at all.
I don't find baseball boring. The part of it is I don't understand cricket. I tried to get the rules. My dad tried to explain it to me. I feel like I disappointed him. I never got it.
Americans think baseball games are long. Dear God, cricket games go on like, I don't know, a week.
They can. They can certainly do. Oh, here's Fed Fan. She says, sorry, fell asleep when you were doing all that football talk. What do you want to know about Ash Barty? I know she quit tennis to play cricket because she was burnt out. Well, you already said all that, Fed Fan. And she didn't want to travel out of Australia. Then she came back to tennis, and then that's when her career took off. I hope that helps. Well, I already said all that. I want to know your personal opinion of her, Fed Fan. That's what I was asking. Big George says, wait, did you say Fed Fan was no longer with us? No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant she
wasn't here today.
Passed out or had enough of our nonsense. Number one Rattlers fan says, is Keon half Indian from India? Well, he'd be Hindi if he was from India, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no.
No. My family is from Guyana in the Caribbean. They also play cricket. The West Indies team.
Can I just say something? You're from the Caribbean. That's like where we all dream to go back. Why are you here?
Yeah, well, because Guyana's a poorer country, and my parents wanted to give me a shot at a good life. So that's how we got here.
And now you're on the Daily Blender.
You don't get no better than this.
Keon in the back of his head's like, I sure hope it does.
I'll take it. I'm doing radio, so my mom thinks that something went wrong, but
888-368-1580. So, okay, that's all we need to talk about Ash Barty, and I think that's all we need to talk about cricket, unless anybody has anything else on that.
I think we're all good.
So, not that cricket. So the USFL has released some information about some of their rules today.
Oh, boy.
And they have several twists to the traditional rules. Here's what some of them are. Now, I'm not watching the USFL, but I always like to pay attention to what kind of rules they try, what kind of ideas they have, and say, ooh, is that something that could work for the NFL? They're saying scoring teams will have a third option now to attempt an extra point. A successful scrimmage play from the 10-yard line would equal 3 points. So where do you go for the 2-point conversion in the NFL? Is it from the 5-yard line?
No, isn't it the half-yard line?
I actually don't know off the top of my head.
Or the 2-yard line?
So here's what they say. You can do the 10-yard line. If you can score from the 10, you get 3 points. The other option would be retain possession after scoring and convert a 4th and 12 from a team's 33. All right. So what do you got there, Keon, on the NFL version? Is it? I thought it was the 5-yard line.
I have the 2-yard line.
Oh, is it the 2-yard? Okay. So 2-point conversion from the 2-yard line, 3-point conversion from the 10-yard line. How would you guys feel about adding the 3-point conversion from the 10-yard line?
It could be fun. There's a level of chaos and volatility there. The more ways that you can have for a game to not really be over at the end, I think that is incredibly fun. I would like that.
How are you, Randy? What do you think?
Well, I think the 3-point conversion. Are you talking about that play, the scrimmage, play from scrimmage?
Right, from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that. I think that'd be fun. Depending on, if the game's on the line. You got the Riverboat Ron out there. He needs 2 points. He's going to go for the 3-point conversion.
I like how you're ready to just screw with football, but boy, anybody changes the rule in baseball, you lose your ever-loving mind, don't you?
What are you talking about? The ghost runners is not what do you want? Like a ghost? Okay, we have a ghost receiver over here. If I throw the ball 10 yards, automatic first down. See how stupid that is?
No, I agree with you, but you do seem to be a little more lax about changing the rules of football than you do baseball.
No, I think it would be fun having a 10-point or a 3-point conversion from the 10-yard line. That'd be a lot of fun.
There are more USFL rules that we can sort of take a quick look at and consider if we want them in the NFL. Right now, it seems like we might be okay with a 3-point conversion. That's an interesting. I thought you guys would be against it, so I'm proud of you. Let's talk about this a little bit more when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
What if I told you there's a wealth management firm that offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee? Think it doesn't exist? Think again.
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. When you start a new relationship with Compact, we'll create your customized investment portfolio and financial plan dedicated to help you reach your goals. Try us out for a year. If you're not happy for any reason, you'll get all of the management and maintenance fee that you paid refunded. This is our 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and use the keyword talk to Mo to find out more. Again, from your cell phone, dial pound 250, keyword talk to Mo. Satisfaction guarantee doesn't apply to fees and commissions charged by third parties for such things as insurance products or mutual fund redemptions. It also doesn't apply to any market losses which might occur in an account. For additional information regarding this guarantee, please see the disclosure brochure available at the time you enroll or upon request.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
We've got the Big P podcast. Fantastic. Never miss your favorite host, that big interview, or your favorite show again.
That's just about the most fantastic scheme I've had to date.
Check out our podcast library. Download your favorite shows you want to hear and listen to it whenever and wherever you want.
It's like audio magic.
My. Get your ear on now at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And so, Keon, how's your mom enjoying Arizona?
Well, she's glad it's warm. So there's that. She coming from the DC area. It's not freezing over there, but she's somebody that doesn't like the cold at all. So upgrade for her.
Well, did she know what happened in the summer and to never ever visit in the summer?
We told her not to visit in the summer. That's one of the reasons she's here now.
Yeah, let her. If you need me to talk to her, I'll be happy to explain to her. They're not just saying that. This is no place to be in the summer. So okay, well,
I told her about our 5 seasons, the 4 normal seasons, and the 5th season is mega summer, which is summer on steroids.
Yeah, I don't think we have that many seasons.
We have two seasons.
You too.
Yeah, we have spring and fall. That's all we have.
No, we don't. No,
I'm sorry, summer and spring.
Summer
and
spring.
That's all we ever have.
That's it. That's pretty much it compared to the rest of the world. It was like, oh my God, it might get freezing overnight. Shut up. That's nothing. It's spring. You know, when I was a kid, not to sound like old man Jeffrey here, but when I was a kid up in Oregon, and it would be, hey, what's the temperature? 55 degrees. Let's go swimming. And we would. It was freezing in the water, but we were convinced that was swimming weather. And we would get in there and swim around. Everything on us would shrivel up, and we'd get out and we'd, rethink our lives. But so it's about the context of where you're from and where you are. But nobody needs to be here in the summer. Period.
No.
Just saying.
Yeah. So agreed.
They're not just trying to ditch you, Keon's mom. They're trying to save you. So 888-368-1580. All right. So we were talking about the USFL with some of these changes, some rules, different rules they'll have than the NFL, and say maybe we could use some of these here, right? The 3-point attempt from the 10-yard line had a positive reaction from the Daily Blender crew. So, all right, so 3 points if you can make the touchdown from the 10-yard line. It almost feels like it's easier though, doesn't it? Don't you
From
sometimes
the 10-yard line?
Yeah, don't you sometimes? I mean, a running play is easier, or is it? Maybe it's easier to have time for a play develop and to throw the ball into the end zone from the 10-yard line than it is the 2-yard line. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so little room to try to get separation. Is it possible it's easier to get that get that shot in the end zone from 10 yards than it is from 5 or 2?
I mean, it depends on how your team's constructed. If you're the Chiefs, the 3 is the easiest thing for you. I can't imagine Patrick Mahomes, the no look passes that could happen in those 10 yards, the speed that they have on that team.
Shovel to Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, there's a billion different things that you could do there. But if you're a bruising running team, you're the Ravens on the 2. That's easy money for them. They do that all the time. They already go for 2 more than everybody else in the league.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other rules. In overtime, each team's offense will alternate plays against the opposing defense from the 2. Each successful scoring attempt will receive 2 points. The team with the most points after 3 plays wins. It's kind of like a shootout in football. What do you think?
Say it again now.
In overtime, each team's offense will alternate plays against the opposing defense from the 2-yard line. Each successful scoring attempt will receive 2 points. The team with the most points after 3 plays wins. The subsequent attempts become sudden death if the score is tied after each team runs 3 plays. Overtime period will extend until a winner is declared. So it's like a shootout, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah. I'd be okay with that.
I would too.
You'd want that in the NFL.
Yeah, I think I would be okay with it. It's better than just you're going to overtime and suddenly one team scores and the game's over.
Especially when it comes to, because one of my problems with that one team scoring and the game's over is we got so many great quarterbacks in this league. And the overtime that kills me is that Chiefs Bills where Chiefs just go down and score in seconds. The game's over. You have 2 quarterbacks that good. My delight is just watching them go back and forth. Let's trade punches. Let's have the heavyweight fight that we were all looking for when these 2 quarterbacks stepped on the field.
Well, as I've said, I don't care. Just people, please agree to something, and let's just do that because the game you're talking about, as I said then, you didn't win the game in regulation. You have to have a flip of the coin that at least gives both teams a chance. The Chiefs got it first. The Bills never got to play, but hey, if you didn't want that outcome, you should have won the game earlier. That's all. I mean, what else can I say? But fine, I'm not going to argue. Whatever everybody decides is the overtime rule. Let's agree to it. I don't want to ever hear about it again. I'm so tired of people whining about that thing.
I just want it decided on the field.
Other rules: 2 forward passes from behind the line of scrimmage are legal. So if you throw the ball, it bounces back, and you throw the ball again, it's legal. So I think what they're trying to say. Somebody tips it, you know how they do, like the quarterback.
Or it could be you throw a little screen pass. You're still behind the line of scrimmage. Your running back throws a pass downfield. 2 forward passes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if your guy's ahead of you, you throw the forward pass to him, and then he's still behind the line, can throw the ball.
See, I don't like
kind
that
of a
one.
reverse flea flicker.
That's interesting.
I don't like that very much.
I mean, there are lots of cool things you could probably do with that, but I do like the idea that 1 forward pass is the forward pass you get. Figure out how to use it well.
I don't know. The rest are kind of boring. All kickoffs from the 25, blah, 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 about where people have to be. Punts, gunners may not line up outside the numbers. Yeah. Clock will stop for first downs inside of 2 minutes on the 2nd and 4th quarters. Okay, well, that's interesting. I feel like it's unnecessary. So if you get a first down, they'll stop the clock for you right there. Inside of 2 minutes in the 2nd quarter and the 4th quarter.
So it's stop, or is it just stop to place the ball?
It's it's stopped, and then you have that 35 seconds or however long it is for the USFL till you take the next snap.
I don't like that much either.
Because then you're earning a timeout, sort of.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I don't like that.
But then the strategy of having the timeouts, part of that is don't waste your timeouts in the third quarter because you might need them in the fourth, or don't waste them early in the fourth because you might need them late. If we're just giving you a stop clock every time you pick up a first down, or if you don't have timeouts, what do you have to do? Well, you have to get to the sideline. There's a sense of urgency I think you lose when you do that.
The penalty for defensive pass interference, acid. Wow. I'm sorry.
Seems a bit harsh.
No, I got a little dyslexia there. They're going to use the NCAA rule. First, a defender intentionally tackling a receiver beyond 15 yards becomes spot foul. The penalty will be a spot foul if it occurs 15 yards or less from the line of scrimmage, or a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage if the spot of the foul is beyond 15 yards. So it's basically the pass interference rules of the NCAA.
I like that a little. Okay. I've always thought it was kind of crazy if you're behind in a game and you just need to make up big chunk yards, just throw it deep and see if your guy can force a pass interference. Catch the ball or don't. And if you don't, because of pass interference, it is a penalty, but you don't get to move to the spot of the foul. So it's not a 40-yard penalty for, if somebody commits pass interference. I like that better.
All right. So this is one I'm surprised isn't already in the NFL. If a pass does not cross the line of scrimmage, then there can be no pass interference or ineligible player downfield penalties.
Why is that not a rule already? Right. that just makes all the sense in the world.
So somebody needs to pay attention to this and see what's what. The NFL, it took them a while to adopt the 2-point conversion out of college. So, here's some ideas for the owners meeting, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Watermelon says, I like the 3-point from the 10. Extra years opens up the playbook a bit. I feel it could make more action for going after extra points. I think he meant yards. Sun Devil Niner says, dumb carnival rules. No, I agree. USFL is going to be horrific, but I'm always interested in rules that could make the game better. Number one Rattlers fan says, shouldn't the blender discuss the indoor football league scoring and other differences before this other USFL league? Blah blah blah. Well, I don't know the indoor football league is a smaller field of play, and I don't know if all those rules that you guys use over there would apply. But I'd be interested in hearing some of those rules.
It's a fun game, but the dimensions of the field are just different. Yeah, it's just a different kind of sport.
Well, I'll tell you what, number one Rattler fan, why don't you send an email, blender@1580thefanatic.com, of rules that are in the IFL that you think would work in the NFL, and we'll talk about it. Absolutely. And listen, don't expect us to get all excited about the IFL if you're going to blah, blah, blah other leagues. Now, I'm not excited about the USFL myself, but I can't blah, blah, blah it, man. You can be a little more open-minded there, pal. Big George says there's only 2 seasons in Arizona. Extremely hot and not so hot. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
Spring and summer, I believe, is what they're called. Yeah.
I think we're just saying the same thing, George. Yeah. It is time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back to the year 1952, the New York Rangers blew a 6-2 lead, losing 7-6 to the Chicago Blackhawks in the final night of the regular season. Blackhawks right winger Bill Mozinko scored the fastest hat trick in NHL history in a span of just 21 seconds in the third period to mount this epic comeback. So, Keon, in hockey, a hat trick is when you get 3 goals.
Yeah.
Just so you know. He did that in 21 seconds. What you don't know is he almost had a 4th goal in 45 seconds. Wow. But that shot got deflected off the goalpost. So this 20-second hat trick is still an NHL record that stands today.
That is unbelievable.
Well, what is more unbelievable? The fact this guy was able to score, or the fact that the Rangers, did they walk off the ice? I mean, how does this happen? 21 seconds, 3 goals.
He scores. They drop the puck and he scores again. Like, I don't know how that works.
After the second one, aren't you just punching him in the face? Something has to change here. It's amazing.
Yeah. And nothing changed after the third one.
Yeah, there was a fourth almost. And it wasn't even a defender that stopped it. It was the goalpost. Hattie Lefty says 2 points in the NFL, yes, is from the 2-point line, but 3 points should be 50-yard field goal. But if you miss, the other team gets the ball in the 40 with no kickoff. That's very complicated, Hefty.
Yeah.
That's a lot. The other one is definitely easier to explain, which I do think is part of it.
Fed fan went back and napped a little more, and then she came back and said, I like Ash Barty. She's a class act. I hope she makes another comeback.
Back to sleep. Yeah.
Let's see. Berg says, Cardinals, great. Signs with New England. Welcome back, Malcolm Butler. There you go. Berg is happy about it. So I thought it was I honestly did think that was a retirement move.
I don't even think he played a play with the Cardinals. I think when he signed here, he instantly went on the injured reserve or the mental reserve, whatever they call it, and then was going to retire. And then they brought him back because he wanted to come back, and then they released him, and then he signs with the whole damn thing. It can only happen to the Cardinals.
I don't think it happened to the Cardinals.
I
think Steve Keim happened to the Cardinals, Randy.
I'm sure glad we gave him an extension. Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow we have 1 hour show. That's right. And it's going to be basically nearly an hour long Keon Rose college basketball dance party tomorrow. Nice. Same thing on Friday. If anything else hits the news, we'll be talking about that too. But this is the big time now. It's the Sweet 16. And we got all the games here on 1580 The Fanatic. So join us tomorrow for a very special Daily Blender college basketball dance party with Keon Rose. Randy and I might be here too. It's a Daily Blender, 1580 The Fanatic.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus